All right, we are live. What's up, everybody? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? Welcome to another session of the Gov Podcast Wednesday Hot Topics, live out of San Francisco on this beautiful Wednesday night. As always, you guys can see it. We have a full panel of men and women. We have a hot topic to discuss tonight. As always, appreciate you guys always tuning in for my live shows. Get your popcorn ready. Let's get it.
What are we arguing about?
A man is gonna do what a man wants to do.
Yes, all on your wrist. Make you my wife, you no longer my bitch.
Let's get it. My name is Will. I'm the host of this show, the number one Polynesian podcast in the world.
Dripping in Versace. All these other hoes trying to copy.
Women tend to bounce around in relationships. They can't stick and stay in a long-term relationship.
Again, don't agree with this.
So let's say, are you still in it? Are you still in it?
No. So you're basically saying I'm a whore.
This content is not suitable for the children under the age of 18 without adult supervision. Please be advised.
So I just wanted to take the time and make this video to apologize to absolutely nobody. What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Welcome back to another session of the Gava Club Podcast, Wednesday Hot Topics. You guys already know my name is Will. I'm the host of this show, number one Polynesian podcast in the world. As always appreciate you guys tuning in for my live shows. We have a full panel, and ladies and fellas here tonight, we have another hot topic to discuss with you guys. As always, thank you so much for being part of the show. I see you, Fatty, in the live chat. Okay, yeah, Fatty, I see you whenever you jump in, just click on that link and I'll see you when you get in. As always, appreciate you guys always tuning in for my live shows, my subscribers and my supporters. Thank you so much. You guys already know what to do. If you see value in the content, just smash that like, subscribe button real quick. Of course, this is a public show, so if you're tuning in for the very first time, this is a public show. You can join in. Wherever you are in the world. I know a lot of you guys do reach out to me on Instagram and ask me, how do I jump on? The link is in the description of the video. You definitely just go in the description. The link is right there. Click on it and you'll be able to tune in and be part of the show using your laptop or your phone. We do have some room on the panel, so I highly encourage you guys to jump on, whether you agree or disagree. Always like to hear from different perspectives from men and women out there. So click on that link. I definitely would love to hear some conversation, some new faces on the live show. And of course, my locals, the best way to support me, if you do want to support my channel, support my podcast, definitely try to improve it every single time to give you guys the best quality content. The best way to support me is become a supporting member of my locals. The link is in the description of the video. You definitely get exclusive access to exclusive content, the pre-show and after-show vlogs I do for my Saturday night podcast. And of course, you can definitely be able to jump on and be a public guest on my Friday night and my Saturday night podcast, where I do invite people to be in the studio. So, and of course, you have access to me directly on the locals. That's the best way to reach me. And so I always appreciate you guys who subscribe to my locals and become supporting members, and appreciate you guys as always. And of course, this is a live show. Let's get that live chat popping. I see you sideways, D, on the live chat. What's up, guys? Show some love on the live chat, show some support. And of course, if you recognize the people on the panel, definitely show some love on the live chat. But that's pretty much all my YouTube stuff. Pretty much appreciate you guys. And of course, don't forget, if you have something to say, if you want your voice to be heard, the best way to do is drop a super chat. I'll be able to read anything you guys want to say. I'll put it on the screen, read it out for you guys, and we get a chance to respond to you guys. So if you want to be heard on this live show, you have something to say, drop it through a super chat. That'll be the best way to do it. And I appreciate all the super chat and donations you guys have for the show. But as always, shout out to the panel real quick, first and foremost. All right. You guys see a lot of familiar faces here on the panel tonight, but we got a new member here for the first time. And I see Everything Everyday podcast by Daryl Long. I see a lot of you guys on the live chat. Thank you so much. Appreciate it to the panel. Thank you for making the time. I know a lot of you guys are busy. for making the time to be part of Wednesday Hot Topic tonight and see where this discussion goes. Okay, as always, let's get a quick intro for everybody out there on the panel, for everybody watching here for the first time. They may not know who you are. So if you don't mind, just give yourself a quick intro. And if you want to drop your socials real quick, if people want to follow you. But I'll start with you, my life, Jessica. Thank you so much for tuning in and being part of the podcast for the first time. Jessica, go ahead and give yourself a quick intro for everybody out there.
All right. My name is Jessica. I go by My Life Jessica Official on Instagram and TikTok. I'm a psychic medium, and I'm also a Reiki healer. So, yeah. Yep.
All right. Thank you, Jessica. As always, appreciate you for jumping on and being part of the show for the first time. Thank you so much. We'll keep it moving to the ladies. I'll pass it to you. Mina, go ahead and give yourself a quick intro.
What's going on? I'm Mena King. Social media IG is Amena Mercy. TikTok Amena Mercy, and I'm happy to be here. So thanks for having me.
All right, thank you so much, Mena. And I think every single time you jump on, you have a different background, or maybe it's the same, it's just different color.
No, it's probably just a different color.
Okay. All right, no worries. Thank you so much, Mena. We'll keep it moving. Yadi, go ahead and give yourself a quick intro.
Hi, everybody. My name's Yadi Carmen. I'm from Texas, and I'm just grateful to be here.
All right. Thank you so much, Yadi. Appreciate you for being on, as always, appreciate you for being on the pod. And we'll keep it moving to the fellas. I'll start with you, Damien. Thank you so much for making the time, fellas. But Damien, go ahead and give yourself a quick intro for everybody out there. Oh, you're on mute, Damien.
Oh, there you go. What's up, y'all? My name is Damien. I got a podcast called Can I Get Some Podcasts that I'll be relaunching on March 4th. On March 4th, on December 4th. I don't know what I'm thinking. I was out hanging out with some fellas before that. But it's on December 4th, I'll be relaunching my Can I Get Some Podcast. My show on IG is Can I Get Some Podcast. So go ahead and like and follow and updates for when I start my podcast again.
All right, no worries. Definitely looking forward for that, Damien. The content you're going to produce. So thank you so much, Damien, as always, for being part of the pod. We'll keep it moving. Beans.
What's good?
What's good, Beans?
Nothing chilling, man. It's your boy Beans, aka Love Podcast. I got multiple channels, but if you just look up Love Podcast, you should be able to find both of my channels on YouTube.
All right, Beans, thank you so much for jumping on. As always, good to have you on the pod. And I don't know, Fatty, you good or you're still trying to get things?
My name is Fatty, and I'm just here to annoy Mena and Carmen. That's my job today. So I will come in up in 10 minutes, Will. So I appreciate you. Actually, and I'm not okay with having more black people on the panel. I want to be special. So take Damien in the podcast.
Man, you pseudo black. You like from Portugal.
Here we go.
Let's get you black light.
All right, Patty, as always, appreciate you guys. Always appreciate you being part of the pod. But we'll go right into it. The hot topic tonight. It was I saw this video that went viral on TikTok. Everybody watching this already, you guys already know the topic we're discussing tonight. Should men train modern women on how to be a good wife? So let me just play the video to give everybody some context of how I came up on this topic, and then of course I'll just lay it out for everybody out there, and then we can open up for everybody to open up your general thoughts before we go right into the discussion. So this is the video I saw. I'll play it real quick for everybody to see, and of course, as you guys are watching, definitely react on the live chat. Let me know what you guys think about this video. But this is the video I saw on social media.
I feel like we need to normalize, and I don't want to offend no women when I say this.
Offend them.
But men need to normalize almost like training your woman. A lot of women have, we've been self-sufficient, independent. So we're used to a certain, paradigm. Sometimes you have to be patient enough to be like, no, talk to me like this. I'm your man. And you can't just be like giving up on your woman after the fifth argument. Sometimes it's going to take 15 arguments for her to realize, okay, this is how I talk to my man. Because I wasn't I wasn't trained for that.
Okay. So that was a video I saw. So that was a video I saw. There we go. Just making sure. Okay. That's the video I saw. Let me add Jessica. Okay, cool. Okay. So that's the video I saw that kind of went viral. There was a lot of back and forth in the comments. If you go check it out, especially a lot of the modern women, they're highly upset that she said that we have to train women how to be a wife. So let me just lay it out for you guys, and then you guys can share what you guys think. Based on my experience, when you have conversation with masculine men, usually the type of men most women want in a husband, most of the traits and qualities that we find attracted to a woman that we consider a wife, a lot of those qualities are traditional. So I think the problem we see today in the modern dating market is a lot of the things that's normalized today, as far as the behavior, the mentality of how women think. A lot of those behaviors are is against what or opposite of what men are looking for in a wife. Independent mentality, hot girl summer. I can wear whatever I want. I can post my body online. So there's a lot of things that's normalized today. That's normalized today in the modern world, especially in America, because we all live in America. But the problem is, from the men's perspective, a lot of the things that's normalized in women today of how they behave and how they think and how they treat men is opposite of what we're looking for as men. So as a man, unless you're marrying somebody that's extremely religious or extremely coming from a conservative family that's traditional, if you happen to meet the average woman that has been indoctrinated or programmed to this normalized behaviors, a way of thinking, especially promiscuity, going to the club, if you have to meet the average modern woman, you may have to, as a man, if that's the woman that you want and you're willing to take accountability to choose her, then you have to train her to make sure she understands that she comes and she respects your boundaries and what you're looking for in a wife. Because a lot of the things today that's considered normal behavior, it's for most men, especially masculine men, it's not what we're looking for. So you may have to train your woman. You may have to teach your woman and coach her up, if that's a better word for the women out there who don't like the word train. You may have to coach her up to make sure that respects your boundaries, because one of the things that we want in a relationship as men is we want respect. And if a woman is not respecting our boundaries, then that's going to cause a lot of problems. So as a man, if we're going to take accountability, if we are the leader, we have to teach her how to follow my leadership. And you may have to train the modern woman on how to be the wife that you want as a man. So that conversation I saw in the comments, a lot of women were upset. You don't train me. There's this mentality that I heard this from on the comments from a lot of women. They were saying, you have to accept me as I am. that was what I heard a million times in the comments. All right. You don't train a woman. I'm not cattle. I'm not sheep. I'm not a dog. If you just accept me as I am, I don't need to change. And if you don't, then that's your problem. It's not my problem. Okay. So that was what I saw in the comments. It went back and forth. So that's the conversation that we're having tonight. And of course, everybody in the live chat, let me know what you guys think. I see Big Dog Barking, D, MZ Carroll. What's up, everybody? BL17, what's up? Thank you so much for tuning in. But that was a conversation that we had that I saw that was going back and forth in those comments. So let me bring that question full circle to you, the fellas and the ladies on this panel. Do men have to train a woman today in modern day 2023? Do we have to train a woman to know how to be a good wife? Okay. So I'll start with the ladies and we'll get the feedback from the ladies. And of course, we'll bring it back to the fellas. And of course, everybody watching for the first time, thank you so much, everybody in the live chat. Get that live chat popping. And of course, don't forget, this is a public show. So if you just jumped on and tuning in for the very first time, if you want to jump on, we have some room on the panel. The link is in the description of this video. Click on that link and you'll be able to jump on. I definitely would love to hear from all perspectives, whether we agree or disagree. If there are any raging feminists out there watching this right now, I would love to hear from the raging feminists to be part of the panel. But let me start with the ladies. I'll start with our newest guest for the first time, Jessica. Jessica, what do you think? What do you think? Do men today have to train women on how to be a good wife?
No. I definitely don't think they need to be trained. I think that that's more of Like a lot of times people have like limiting beliefs like from how they grew up. Like, you know, like there's like it doesn't matter if you're male or female, somebody could be dominant as submissive. So I feel like it's not that you need to be trained. It's more like if you're looking for something, you have to reflect that as well. I mean, it's not like you need to train it though. But that's my thought.
Okay. All right. So Jessica, you don't,
Saying
you know,
no.
no. Okay. All right. Thank you. All right. Thank you for sharing, Jessica. So Jessica said, no, you don't have to be trained to be a good wife. We'll keep it moving. Minna, what do you think? Minna, do men, do we have to train you guys? Do we have to train you how to be a wife?
Well, for starters, whoever watches, everyone, I hate that word with passion. The reason I hate it so much is because I don't believe anybody should be trained to do absolutely anything. It should be common sense to know your partner and your partner know you and what you want, what you don't want, what your boundaries are, where your boundaries aren't. I don't think that's something you need to train. As grown as adults, having a conversation and being in an adult relationship, that means sitting down, talking about, hey, that post, are you following that guy or that guy following you makes me uncomfortable, and vice versa. It's a conversation. It has nothing to do with training. It has nothing to do with obedience or leadership or this or not. It's respect. It's hearing your partner and how your partner feels and listening to that because you love them enough to do what makes them happy for the sake of maintaining the relationship and avoiding unnecessary problematic situations that don't need to arise over example, I'm not comfortable with you following X, Y, and Z. Can you please unfollow that? Of course, babe, no problem. It's not about training someone to do what you want. That's not a relationship, that's dictatorship. And in a relationship, that's not a relationship. It's two parties coexisting together and making shit work for one another because they want to be together. So that's my 2 cents on that.
All right. Thank you so much, Minna. Let me just read this super chat real quick. I see you, D, on the live chat said, $5 super chat, keep doing your thing. Well, hey, shout out to you, man. Thank you so much. All right, shout out to you, D. Thank you so much for your super chat. I appreciate the support, as always, for the channel. We'll keep it moving. Yadi, what do you think, Yadi? Do women today? Do men today have to train women today how to be a good wife?
So I hadn't seen that video. I want to comment on that first. I think it's pretty disgusting for the woman to say that she needs to be trained, and not because that word triggers me, right? Because it doesn't bother me at all. But the whole point was, it's like you're trying to excuse nasty behavior that you have on how you talk to a man. And so you want him to sit there and work with you to teach you how to talk to another person. Like, that's disgusting to me in that aspect. Yeah. You're a grown up. You should talk to somebody with respect. You should know what is required just to have an amicable conversation with somebody else, you know. That's my take on that video, the way that she was explaining it. Like, I guess she's maybe meeting people that don't like the way she's, you know, talking to them. And so she's like, instead of just, you know, giving up and walking away, tell me what I need to do, kind of deal, right? Like, we're all adults. I don't understand why somebody would have to sit there and tell you, hey, this isn't okay for you to talk to me like that or disrespect me or, you know, stuff like that. As far as training modern women on how to be a good wife, when you're in a relationship with somebody, you should have those conversations, like Mena said, about what is expected in the relationship. And it's going to go both ways, right? And so maybe that's what somebody would consider as training suggestions, or the mandates, the boundaries on what is expected for this to be successful. So in that aspect, as in they're already a good person, they respect their partner, you know, and it's just like maybe little things. Hey, I prefer if you do this or you don't do that, or, you know, certain little things like that, then I don't see anything wrong with that.
All right. Thank you so much, Yadi. Thank you for sharing. Let me just read the super chat real quick. Team Fatty, thank you so much for the super chat. Appreciate you, man. All right. Thank you so much. All right. Yeah, that was your sound effect from your show, Fatty. I stole
You
it.
have a sound now. Here we go, Will. Here we go.
Hey, you're the A. I gotta learn from the best, man. I gotta learn from the best. All right. So Fatty, thank you so much for the super chat. Appreciate you guys. Like I said, if you want your voice to be heard, drop a super chat. I'll definitely read it out and respond. I just see the live chat popping. Keep that live chat going, but we'll keep it moving to the fellas. I'll start with you, Damien. Damien, what do you think, Damien? To men today, do we have to train these women, these modern women today, how to be a good wife? Go ahead, Damien.
Well, I'm thinking non-marriage minded men shouldn't be having this discussion whatsoever. They shouldn't be in there talking about, okay, what do I got to do to make a wife when you ain't trying to get married? If you're a marriage minded man, then you can say, okay, here's what I need in order for you to be considered a good wife to me. Because what I may need, Fatty may not need, Beans may not need, you may not need. So I think what it is just like Mena and Yadi was saying, it was just like, you kind of got to just go back and forth with, okay, here's what I need and here's what I'm going to provide. And if it is in line with what you need, we can keep it moving. But like I said, this is not a discussion for non-marriage minded men, because they want women to be all these things, but they're not trying to be nobody's husband. You know, so that's the thing that makes this, you got to watch out when you have this, when people get in it, we have this conversation and with who you having it with. So that's my opinion.
Okay. All right, Damien, appreciate for sharing that. That's actually that makes sense to me. Okay. All right. Thank you for sharing that, Damien. We'll keep it moving. I'll pass to you, Beans. Beans, I saw you nodding your head when you said that. Beans, what do you think, Beans? Do we have to train modern women today how to be a good wife?
I mean, yeah, I guess so. But I would like to ask Mina a question really quickly, though. So, Mina, do you believe that people develop relationships?
Yeah, absolutely. I think you should work your way up into creating anything into whatever you want it to be. It needs to be developed. You need to know your person. You need to get to know them and all that stuff. Yeah.
Okay. Do you think people should improve in relationships?
Absolutely. In relationships, independently, it's all about self-development. If you don't know who the hell you are, how the hell do you expect to be able to provide anything to anyone? If you don't know where you're going, if you're just a leaf in the wind, you have to know yourself and what you want, what you expect. Like Damien said, people that have not had long-term relationships, have not looked into wanting to be a husband or a wife, have never had that opportunity. It's not a topic that should be really brought up unless you've been there, done that. It's like people that don't have kids that want to talk about being a parent. It's like you can't speak on something that you haven't experienced for yourself. Now, I understand everybody has their opinions and their take on it and their 2 cents, but especially in a healthy relationship with yourself, with your partner, whatever the case may be, you have to be willing to work on yourself so you can make something grow out of nothing, because that takes time. It's a process and you have to compromise. You have to be willing to put your own crap to the side, hear somebody out, and, you know, establish those boundaries.
Okay. So the short version is yes, you believe people develop relationships and improve in them. I want you to understand, and I want to know if you accept the fact that that's the literal definition of train.
No, I'm not going to accept that.
Even if it says it in the dictionary, you're not going to accept that.
Absolutely not, because I don't think you should train.
No, it's okay. It's okay. It's not a rally call. I just want the test to see where you are mentally. I got where you are. I know how to deal with you from here on out. Okay. So here's the thing. Married people, you're not special. Your relationships are not special. For Black people, they end on average in 5 years. and I've been with my girl for 13, and we ain't married. So married people, you're not special. There are a lot of people who have relationships, personal, business, and otherwise, and they have to learn how to operate inside of those relationships, regardless of whether or not there's a piece of paper tying it together. So the experience of being in a relationship trumps your paper. So they can have these conversations because most people in our community aren't married, but they still have relationships. So they ought to go into those relationships with the best amount of information that they possibly can if they want long-term results.
We just moved into pros. Like people who stay in long-term relationships, we got to get married. That's I think that's the D league. We in the pros.
Yeah,
because we are.
But it don't last. Half of them.
I'm 15 years deep.
Hey, Damien, do you need to go to the moon to talk about what the moon is?
But that's everything else that you're talking about. If you're talking about me, you're talking about theory. Everything else is theory, not practice. If you're talking about the moon. No. Everything. Not. If you never gone to the moon, everything you're talking is theory, not practice.
Absolutely not.
Yes, because you've never been there.
No,
because
there's people that are in relationships and have terrible marriages, and there are people that
absolutely
are
100%,
and manage their relationship like pros. You 100%. Putting a ring on it is not graduation. It's just a different phase of your life, and some people do it terribly. Some people doing very fine. The same way as some people have great relationships, their boyfriend and girlfriend, and some can handle that. So let's not.
There's a lot of NBA draft buffs.
Let's not do the purity test and saying if you don't live in Europe, you shouldn't be talking about the war in Ukraine and Russia. Right? Let's not do that. You guys can actually have information and talk about it. You don't need to live here to actually have an opinion about that because you guys are.
Yeah, but everything else, if you're talking about something you're not experiencing, it's all theory. And you can you concede that if you're talking about something that you don't experience, you are theorizing.
Right. Well, I can give you that, but I can give you that, Damien. But here's the funny part about that, right? The funny part about that is there are more people in relationships than there are married.
So, I would agree.
There's no denying that. There's more people in relationships, but at the end of the day, a lot of that shit is toxic.
There's more people in college ball than NBA.
Yeah,
so you contradicted your point.
So they can tell you what it's like to be coached.
You contradicted your point, man.
There's a lot of people in relationships.
That's fair. What if you are on a toxic marriage then? Should you be talking about marriages if you are on a toxic marriage?
You shouldn't be in a situation where
But that's the point. Just because you're in a marriage doesn't mean that you're.
You know what? Yes, you should. If you're in a toxic marriage, a bad marriage, you should talk about it because you can illustrate the pitfalls of being in a bad marriage through actual practice, not theory.
Okay.
Yes, if you said marriage sucks because here's why I'm in a marriage and it sucks. You would listen to somebody who ain't never been married that said marriage sucks.
You just hold on. See, that's great. So I never been married, but I grew up in a household with a married mom and dad. I can't talk about marriage.
You're more than
welcome. No, that's okay. It was rhetorical.
You can talk about
it was rhetorical.
You can talk about all theory. You can't talk about
it was
practice.
Rhetorical. No, because you said experienced it. So I did experience it, but it was rhetorical.
From a different perspective, though. You experienced it from like a child perspective.
It was rhetorical, Mina. It's okay. Damien, you just made my point though, right? Because think about what you said. You said it's more people who play college basketball than the pros, right?
Mm-hmm.
Can a college player tell you what it's like to be coached?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
The best players are not even coached. The best coaches
are hold on.
But can a college player? Let me follow up. Let me retort. Can a college player what it's like to be placed to coach to play against LeBron James?
That's not the point. See, that's not the point. Look what you just did. No, it's not. No, it's not.
I'm just saying because there's levels to this.
Damien, look what you did. What are we talking about right now? We're talking about training. Literally, it's what we're talking about. Do coaches train? Yes or no, Damien?
Yes, they do.
So you said there's more college players and they can tell you what it's like to be coached, correct?
Yep.
Single people can talk about training.
His analogy fails.
Checkmate.
If you have,
hold on. Checkmate.
If you had more failed attempts than successful attempts,
his analogy failed. His analogy fails when the best coaches are not even the best players. That's the point. Phil Jackson. Pat Riley, they were not all-stars. They were not the best players. They were actually players that were on the end of the bench.
But they were in the NBA, so they had an idea of how the NBA worked. So their practice was based on NBA level play, not college level play.
Fine. Eric Spoelstra, and I'm sorry, Will, I'm not going to deviate.
Sorry about that.
Eric Spoelstra was never an NBA coach. He was a video guy that
I don't
grew
even
up
know who that
inside of
is.
an NBA locker room. He's the Miami Heat coach,
Shouldn't be
and
talking
he's a
basketball.
two-time champion and
I'm not
four-time
yeah.
NBA finalist. You don't have to be on court and be an all-star or be a good player to understand the game and how he goes.
How many rings has he gotten so far?
Hmm?
How many championships has he coached people to?
Two with LeBron James, 2 finals, and then he went to 2 finals.
How many rings does this man have on his fingers right now?
Yeah, he went to
3.
6. He went to 6 finals, 6
Okay.
NBA finals in the last 10 years. Is that good enough, Damien?
He got 3.
Okay,
He got 2.
so
No, he
just
got
like-
he got one in 06 too. Just because Pat Riley came down.
No, that's Pat Riley. I'm talking about.
He came in. Pat Riley built a team, a structure, and he just kind of got in there and
Here we
made
go.
it. Didn't
Here we
fuck it up.
go. But he was never a basketball player, Damien. He was.
Let's get back on the. Let's get
Okay,
back
sorry,
on
man. I don't. All right, my bad. My bad. I didn't want to talk about basketball.
Like this.
Okay, we'll keep it moving to you, Fatty. Fatty, thank you so much for sharing that beans. Fatty, what's your thoughts, Fatty, on the topic? Do men today? Do we have to train modern women today on how to be a good wife?
So it's twofold, right? The woman that said that if I took it in good faith, she's right. But what she's trying to do is dodge accountability. I don't treat you right because I need to be trained. Train me, please. And if I spaz out on you, mistreat you, abuse you, it's because you didn't treat me. You didn't train me right. That's all she's doing there. She's putting the onus of responsibility on the man and saying, man, you should treat woman. And now the question, on a perfect world, absolutely. A man should get a woman like wet clay and he should mold her to the point where she is at his image. But most women are like men, right? Most women have these feminist mindset. I'm strong and independent. So no, but listen, it's because of the words. What's up, Jedi? It's about the words, right? And listen to this, man. I get trained when I get a new job. I get trained if I do voluntary work. Every position of my life, if I have to do it, somebody has to train me so I'm able to do that position right. But because women, not right now, they are uncoachable. Since we're talking about basketball, they are uncoachable. You can tell them where to go. Oh, stay on the right side. You're going to get the ball and shoot from 3. They don't want it. They want the ball on their end to figure out whatever they want to do. So the reality is, on a perfect world, really is absolutely right. We should train our women so they can know what to do and to expect from us. But on this world, on real life, a woman will resent you if you use the word training, if you say coaching, if you say teaching, if you say, let me guide you. I don't need no guidance. Who the hell do you think you are? So it's not that men need training. Men need to train women. Women need to be open to be trained by men. And I don't care how much power you got. If you are a leader of a nation, if you are the best coach on the NBA, if the person that is supposed you to teach them, they are not willing to follow you, there's nothing you can do. You can take the donkey and bring it to the river. There's no way you can put water up his mouth. Either he wants to drink it, either he wants to drink it.
Totally stole what I said the first show.
Yeah, why you filibustering? I was almost finishing.
Actually, I disagree with you, Fatty. I disagree. I think if we switch this from this black lady in this video to, and let's just say, an Arab lady,
yes,
nobody would say she was dodging accountability.
Yes.
Right? They would go with good faith and they would hear exactly what she's saying. She's literally stating that because of the way that we move, we lack what Mina, I think it was, or maybe it was Carmen, one of them, determined as common sense, right? Which is obviously it's not common anymore, and that's the problem, right?
Yes.
So she's stating that we lack this thing.
Yes.
She's stating that she herself understands that we are coming into these relationships missing some critical components to function well in a relationship, but don't give up on us after the 5th argument.
Oh yeah,
right. That's what she's saying. I really believe, and of course it's going to be me to throw the race component in there, that if you change that from a black woman to a Hispanic woman or an Arab woman, nobody would say she was dodging accountability. They would literally say she was taking accountability,
Yeah,
but needing to be trained.
I agree, and I'm going to be very quick. one thing you say, Fatty, there's a cow. Go ahead and take care of it. And the thing is that, Fatty, there's a wild bull. Mount that motherfucker. Go ahead and mount him. Right? These women are not docile cows. They are the rodeo type of bull where if you get on them, they will try to eject you to the moon. And that's what I'm talking about. It's not that we shouldn't do that. We actually should take appreciation for a woman. We actually should take time to understand them, to care for them, and to tell them, hey, I want this and this. Can you do that? I'm not talking about the tyrant. You do this or I'm going. But the fact is, that's a raging bull. You are not going to tame a raging bull because he is programmed 20 years. Average age of marriage is what? 29. If that person is programmed to not listening to somebody to no one for 29 years, he's not going to be at 30 when she meets you that she's going to say, oh, you want to ride me? I'm not going to kick you. She will kick you every time she can. And this is what we're talking about, is that they are not programmed to do so. If they are, you got a rare piece. Congratulations, you got the diamond. Most women will play the game, and as soon as they get what they want, they start to kick you. And that's what we're talking about.
All right. Thank you so much for sharing that, Fatty. Just quick super chats. Alejandra Granados. Hey, thank you so much. Shout out to you with the $10 super chat. Thank you so much. Definitely will reach out to you. We definitely need to come back and run our pod back together on Saturday. So, Alejandra, thank you so much for always supporting and watching. And we'll keep it moving. If you want your voice to be heard, drop a super chat. I'll definitely be able to read it on the screen and respond to anything you guys want to say or anything you want to ask the panel. We'll keep it moving. Balovesa, thank you for jumping on as a public guest. What's your thoughts on the topic we're discussing tonight? Do we have to train modern women on how to be a good wife?
When it comes to the women in the West, there's a level of, and this is semantics, and it can be likened to I prefer to use the word coachability. And the conversations that I have with around men who seek my guidance is that what's similar are completely two things, and I share this numerous times, is that you have to be sexually attractive to the man, and you have to have a level of coachability within you. And these tend to be the recipe to make a great woman into a wife or whatever that may be considered into. I know people have gone away from marriage and just stay in long-term relationship, but whatever the measure of success relationship looks like to you. So without dilly-dallying any longer, yes, in the West, there's a level of training that you have to deploy as a man, but that's only half the conversation. I'll leave it with that, but my answer is absolutely yes.
Okay, all right. Thank you for sharing that, Paulo Fessa. As always, don't forget, this is a public show if you're tuning in for the very first time. So if you're watching this right now, you want to jump on and be part of the panel, the link is in the description of the video. Click on that link and you'll be able to jump on. We do have some space on the panel. We all had a chance to share our thoughts to open up the topic. Does anybody want to add on to or respond to what somebody said? Jessica, I saw your face. You were shaking your head a lot of times when the fellas were sharing their thoughts. Anything you want to add on or respond to somebody here on the panel based on what they said?
I was reading in the chat right now how somebody had said about like, is being a wife a job? Like, I mean, it's not a job. It's not supposed to be a job. It's supposed to come to you naturally. But I mean, I didn't have anything going against what they say because I mean, it is true. Everybody has their own opinions of how they see things. But I just feel like it's not that we need to be trained. Maybe it's just that word that's just like it's the way that they said it that really like makes it seem like it's bad. But I mean, I do feel like certain men like being assertive and like showing their woman like, okay, like this is what I like, you know, I would agree to that because I feel like, you know, sometimes, you know, you can be an independent woman and still want somebody to be like I'm very independent, but I mean, I'd be submissive to somebody who's a little bit more like dominant to me, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I just feel like sometimes we do need an assertiveness, but not when it comes to that word's very touchy, like trade. I feel like, you know, people want to learn how to be something for somebody, but they got to learn that for kind of like what Mena said. Like they got to, if you can't love yourself, you can just never love anybody else. That's just the truth of the matter.
But Jessica, that's the thing, right? If me and Podcast are working together and Podcast is good at music and I'm not, I don't need the more masculine Podcast to teach me what to do. I will lower my head and I'll say, Podcast, teach me. Same thing with Paulo. If I need to learn something about construction, I don't need Paulo to be extra masculine. I'm going to lower my head. I'm going to say, please teach me. If I go to Will, can you teach me about podcasting? I will. Women have always this, and this is what I talk about the bad faith. Oh, a man need to teach a woman. The man doesn't need to be extra
But I also
masculine.
feel like not everybody could be the teacher. Like not everybody's qualified to be the teacher to teach
So why are
somebody
you choosing a
something.
man that is not a teacher?
You know?
So why are you
Yeah,
choosing to be with
I'm
a
not
man
just saying
is
that. I'm just saying that my opinion was that I feel like, you know, sometimes in some like what that lady with that video, what I was seeing is that that lady wants somebody to show her because she really doesn't. She's never
that's fair.
grew up in a like a dynamic where she saw that. So she's like, teach me or train me. Like maybe that's just her. Not everybody is the same though. We're all
Do you want a
different. That's
teacher?
what's unique. I don't need a teacher, but
You see?
I
This
mean,
this
Real, you
but
see,
I
real,
would
you
be
see?
open to somebody showing me stuff that I didn't know. I'm very open to knowledge, so I mean, my mind is very open-minded. I'm not going to be limited to what, but I just don't like
You are,
that word.
you are
this
not
is
I want to
open-minded.
dangerous.
You
jump in.
said
Hold
that you
on.
don't need a
This
teacher.
this
You're not
hold on, hold on,
open-minded.
hold on.
Wait.
This is
Hold on,
dangerous,
fellas.
bro. Because I've been
It
trying to
is
get
a
in for a
dangerous
second. Hold
word.
on. This
It's
this
not
is
dangerous.
I'm
dangerous to
very
me, right?
open-minded, but I don't want a teacher. I will welcome
No.
I,
every mentor
I'm
that
not
can
trying to
add
get
to my
married, so I
existence.
mean, that's probably why I don't need a teacher right now.
Well, the thing is, you've admitted that there's a level of assertiveness and authority that a man requires, right? So there's the open-mindedness to be coached to a degree. It's all semantic. Coaching, training, it's the same thing, right? And men who have this certain aura of authority will absolutely train a woman that is in their interest. And usually, these conversations, when we hear women describe the type of man that they want, and they see the notion of success in long-term relationship, those men will absolutely train you. I'm sorry to say it, but they will.
You know the thing that's dangerous to me, like my homegirl B Love in the chat, right? She said, "I'm not a dog," right? Do you think that the word train began from us training animals? Like, of course not, right? Of course, it was applicable to human beings prior to. That's the point about us understanding what a connotation of a word is, right? But that's dangerous to me to play into that. This is why I think part of the reason why society is so messed up, because we are literally promoting the idea of being triggered by words, right? Words that have real legit meaning. Not to mention the fact that a lot of these words have multiple meanings, right? So even earlier when I asked Mina would she accept the definition, she said no. Like, so now I can basically go tell my kids, hey, listen, throw out your dictionaries and your encyclopedia because words and the definition of them
No,
don't
I don't
matter.
even think it would be
They
that.
mean what
Like, it doesn't have to go to that extent of you saying, I know you're being dramatic, but no, only because I don't like that word doesn't mean that you should do something dramatic like, oh, I'm going to tell my kids to throw away the. No, I don't agree with it. I'm not going to agree with it because I don't
right.
accept it. There's different ways you can approach it. There's different ways you can say it to someone. You don't got to be disrespectful. I think that's what it is you don't have to be disrespectful when you're speaking or trying to get your point across to someone.
Mike Tyson
Right. So wait, hold on.
You don't
So
have to.
here's the ironic part is that you think I'm the one being dramatic when I'm being
No, I'm giving
facetious.
no.
You're being,
You're
wait a
taking my words
minute,
out
wait
of
a minute. Can
context.
we respectfully
No.
allow each other to
Hold
talk? Because
on.
I was
I'm not
talking,
saying,
you jumped in, I let you
I'm
talk.
saying in general, you don't have to
Because
be
you don't want that
disrespectful.
done back to you.
That's what I'm saying. Is in
So this is
general,
my last
you don't
time
have to
asking.
be disrespectful. In
Right.
my
So
opinion,
you're being disrespectful now because you won't allow me to land.
no,
But you're
because
talking about
you're
disrespect.
adding things to what I said. That's
What did I
why
add?
I'm cutting you off.
What did I
You're
add?
saying that I am telling that you're being disrespectful. No, what I'm saying is you can respect how people feel about it. That's what I'm saying, is respecting how people feel about it. Everybody has their own interpretation, how they feel about something.
No, they don't. There's a dictionary for it.
That's with anything that's being said. That's with
Okay.
anything that's being done. You can take
Got
account
you.
and accept the fact that, hey, okay, that person doesn't like that word. Or, hey, I shouldn't, let me not say that. There's different ways to get your point across
It's
without
not about that.
being rude to someone.
It's
It
not
is
that.
about that. That's
What I
essentially why I
specifically
don't like
stated, what I specifically stated
That's
was
right.
that you said you wouldn't accept the written literal interpretation, the definition, not interpretation. I'm sorry, not the interpretation, the definition. You wouldn't accept the definition of the word. That is insane. It is insane, right? So since we're going there, right? That's insanity, right? But then you said that you don't have to be disrespectful because you're saying you can tell somebody something a certain way. And I'm assuming that you're saying you believe that saying training a woman is disrespectful, correct?
Absolutely, it is.
Okay, right. Do you think over talking and interrupting people is disrespectful?
No, I'm correcting you because you were adding words to my mouth.
So you don't think over talking and interrupting is
No,
disrespectful?
I was correcting you because you.
I know, but I'm asking you a specific question. Yes or no?
What I said.
Okay, but yes or no? Do you think it is?
Yeah, absolutely. But it's
Okay. So just so we clear, over talking, interrupting, you believe is disrespectful, and yet you do it. But you don't want people to use the word train, which is a human word applicable to human beings.
Who you use it to? As long as you don't use it to me, I don't give a fuck who you say it to. As long as you don't say it to me, period.
So
and that's that. And I'm gonna leave it at that. I don't give a fuck who you say it to. Don't say it to me.
Right.
Period.
You. That's what I'm saying. You don't want people to say the word to you.
I'm speaking about me because I can only speak about me and why that word bothers me. And that's why it bothers me. And I'm gonna leave it at that. And that's that.
So just so I'm clear, you said it. Why does it bother you?
Because it's disrespectful. You can use another word, especially if I don't know you. I don't know you.
Carmen.
I don't know you.
Okay, I just wanted to say something real quick because yeah, we're talking about how the girl is taking accountability in the video, that she wants the man to train her, right? Like on how to do stuff or whatever. But and because you also made the point that not everybody is raised like that. Okay. I myself had a very toxic mother. She was too much to go into, but the point is she raised me to never give explanations to nobody, especially a man. Okay. To do whatever the hell I wanted whenever I wanted, basically. And she was also very dominant in the relationship with my father, right? Which that was super toxic. So I was toxic for a long time because of that, because that was my example. That's what was inbred in me. Okay. But I didn't need a man to show me different. You know what happened? I noticed the relationships in my life, how they were toxic too, how they weren't working for me, how I wanted it, right? So then I started changing me and seeing, you know what? Sorry. In order to be happy in a relationship, you need to be understanding. You need to communicate. I do need to tell him, hey, I'm going to be here with such and such. Or, hey, do you mind if I go do this? Do you know what I'm saying? Like it was not a man showing me or training me, right? It was more the initiative of that's not how I wanted my life to continue. So let's change some things for the better, you know?
Did you do that inside of a relationship or outside of a relationship?
Outside. I've been married and divorced twice.
So Carmen, so respectfully, so that's the difference. This particular video, this lady is talking about people who are in relationships. That's why she's having that conversation. That's specifically why she said, don't leave after the fifth argument, because she's talking about people inside of relationships. She's saying, don't leave me because I have changes to make. Give me the grace and give me instructions on how to make those changes to fit your narrative or to fit your idea of what you want.
I think you're saying something a little bit different, because like with my wife, I haven't trained to do anything. I said, this is what it's going to take to get my last name. And she found it in herself to make those changes. I didn't have to go and be like, here's the things I need to do. You need to do it this way, this way. She said, okay, Damien likes these things done a certain way. In order for me to be his wife, I'm going to have to adapt that. And
that's literally training.
That is no. That is not no, that is absolutely not training.
What is happening right now?
Hold on. No. Think about it. All right, I'll make it more simple for you guys for the GED section. All right, look. if I say I like cherry pie made a certain way, I'm not going in like, okay, here's how you roll the dough, here's how you lay it out, here's how you do it. If I say I like cherry pie with this, and she goes and figures it out and brings me the cherry pie the way I like it, I didn't train her. I just told her that what I liked, and she found it in herself to give it to me the way I want it. That's not training.
Damien, let me pass your microphone back to you, Damien. If a woman doesn't know how to suck my dick, and I say this is how I like it, you lick the tip, you kiss it like a lollipop. That's what I like, and she does it. What is that? Is that training or is just a suggestion?
So is that training her for to be every man's woman, or to suck every dick, or just yours?
That's the question, man. Is it training?
Yes, it is.
Okay, then.
Damon, one second.
Yes,
Damon,
it is. But if you say, hold on.
This is the difference between man and woman, right? If a woman said, I train my man how to eat me out, he didn't know how to do it, but I like it this way and like it that way, no man will say, oh my God, your woman is teaching you how to
talking about something.
Damien,
what you're doing is you're bringing it down. You're bringing it down here.
Damien.
Training to be somebody's wife and training to give somebody head is two different things.
Doing what men does.
There's a lot more that go into this.
One second, Damien. Please, 1 second, Damien. Do you notice how men start laughing
to
about
quote
that
Ali,
shit?
you're being disingenuous.
Damien, 1 second. Do you notice how men start laughing about me being trained or about eating my wife's box? It's not offensive. It's just the fact that she is a feminist at heart, and she looks at words and she says, you are trying to train me? That's offensive. But me training my husband to actually care for me and pleasure me, she has no problem with that.
I'm not gonna fucking train my husband to do shit.
Wait, no, this is where
I'm not gonna be married in.
I don't even want to do that.
Let's just go one by one. Let's go one by one just for the sake of the audience.
I just
want to talk over each other. So go Fatty, and then we'll go next.
I just want to say, Will, this is the proof. This is the proof that women actually are the ones that have to change, not men. Because men, every step of the way, accommodate their woman's wishes. Oh, you like to do this, you like to go there. I can do that for you, baby. It's fine. But as soon as you put the word training, Mike Tyson was trained, Stephen Hawking was trained, Neil Armstrong was trained. Every major historic figure, even if you are Genghis Khan, the biggest conqueror, somebody had to train him to how to be a leader, how to be a warrior. Everybody on this planet is trained, and men are okay with that. But as soon as a feminist says the word training, teaching, all that, I'm offended. You are not better than nobody else. Every man and woman on this planet is going to learn until the day they die. If you are not willing to learn from somebody that has the knowledge that you have, it shows that you are ignorant. In when I say ignorant, not an insult, it shows that you are going to cap out your ceiling because you think you know more than you actually know. I'm going to be quiet. Go ahead.
All right, thank you, Fatty. Let me just read some super chats real quick, and I'll pass it to you, Palafessa, and then Alejandro. Thank you for jumping on. Alejandro, thank you for jumping on as a public guest. Alejandro with the $5 super chat. Shout out to you. Thank you so much. As always, appreciate you. MC Heavy Tits, $4.99 said, when we get training at work, it's disrespectful. All right, no worries. Jacob Simmons on the there we go. Jacob Simmons on the live chat said, 99 just donate to the channel. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys. I think Jacob, I think that's the first time I've seen you in a live chat, first time. So thank you so much for tuning in and supporting the channel. As always, appreciate you guys with your super chats. If you want your voice to be heard, drop it through a super chat. I'll be able to put it on the screen and read it out for you guys, and you guys get a chance to respond. But get that live chat popping. We'll pass it back to Palafessa and just the panel. I know we have different opinions on this topic, so just make sure let's go one by one. Especially if we disagree, let's make sure let's let the person finish what they have to say, and then when the person responds, let the person respond to you and finish before you respond back. All right, just for the audience to be able to hear what we have to say. We'll pass it to Palafessa.
I think Werner has a massive echo on the back. I don't know. I think he's because there's something going on with the.
Yeah. Just put yourselves on mute if you're not talking, just to make it easier for everybody. All right, but we'll pass it to you, Palafessa. Palafessa, you wanted to add on, you to respond to somebody. Go ahead.
Yeah, it sounds like in this conversation that there is an extreme association between training and forcing someone to do something, which in my definition and how I understand it, and Baines will probably look up the Webster Dictionary definition of it. Training, the person who's receiving training or the trainee still has to receive it and decide for themselves whether they're going to take it on board or disregard it. That's part of training. The other part of it is that there's a requirement for either micro or macro management. Someone who receives a set of guidelines and go out in their own volition and do the things that they've been taught to do is considered trained. So I think what I'm hearing in this conversation is that the idea of training has been perceived in the manner where I am forced to do something for this other person. It is not. You still have a choice. You're a human being, and that's what relationship requires, is the ability for both people to meet eye to eye and say, look, these are the ways that I should love you as a man and I should respect you as a man. What are those things? Are there boundaries that I need to adhere to? And here are the things as a woman that I require from you as a man. These are the ways for you to love me. Do these not sound like training? And it's up to you by your own volition to do these things if you want to stay in that relationship or not. It has nothing to do with marriage, as we've already discussed. People are in long-term relationship. People are training each other consistently all throughout the phases that they go through in order to love each other better, in order to fit in whatever the story may be, whatever the success looks like in that relationship. So it's difficult for me to hear this conversation and the big pushback of training. You're not forced to do nothing. I'm giving you a set of guidelines of who I am as a man. These are the things that you as a woman should give me. And what are the things as a woman I should give you? That is considered trained. I'm being trained to love you as a man. You're being trained to love me as a woman.
All right.
And that's fine.
You wanted to add on something, Damien? Go ahead. You're on mute.
I think a lot of men and women will associate the word training with their experience with training. I experienced, when I think of training, I think about, I was in the military. So basic training. I was played sports. So that type of training. So there's a definite like harshness and hardness that when I think about training. So maybe it's just my personal experience with things related to training that kind of makes it to where, yeah, I don't necessarily want to pass it on to my wife, because every time I've been in a situation where it was training, there was difficulty attached to it. There was some kind of toughness or insensitivity attached to it because it was kind of a breaking down to build you up type of situation. So that's maybe, like I said, maybe I'm just being biased based on my own experience.
So maybe the women don't like it because when they hear the word train, they think about getting a train ran on them.
No,
So,
you know what I
so
think
that's
it is?
the thing that makes them not like it. Like, come on, it's obvious what this is, bro. Here's the funny thing about it. The woman in the video,
that's not train. That's adult. That's a actual physical
When
thing.
I was
train.
young,
They're
I was
talking
ran
about.
over by a train. That's offensive.
No, you know what I think may trigger people about the training? It's because we don't like to see any negative about ourselves, right? And so the first thing that comes is like our wall coming up. We're getting offended. We're being attacked. We're feeling attacked about something about us that this other person doesn't like, right? And so maybe the word is just bringing up those insecurities. I don't know,
Absolutely, which is exactly what I was trying to say before Damien cut me off after being instructed and trained by the host to not do that.
Damn.
Right? The point is that the woman in the video who is actually requesting training is the one taking accountability. The women who have a problem with the word trains are the one who want to avoid it at all costs, which is why they have a problem. I'm not trying to avoid
anything. I've had very successful relationships.
No,
very successful relationships. So I'm not pushing off on the idea of training. Like Damien said, there's a negative context to it, and especially guys that feel like they override women, that they have a right over a woman's body, that they have a right to say whatever the fuck they want to say.
Propaganda.
No, because there's plenty of them.
What does you?
And
What
if
does they
you're
do?
taking it personal, that's something that you have to look at yourself. So what I'm saying is I'm generalizing. I'm not gonna let people that I don't know, because I don't know you, I'm not gonna let people that I don't know tell me that I have to accept a word because of how you're putting it.
Manna?
Absolutely not.
That's fair. That's fine,
So
Manna. Let me ask you
hold
something,
on.
Manna.
I thought we were not interrupting each other.
I'm sorry.
You just cut me off. That's why you're talking right now.
Hold up.
Nobody is saying anything, but
I
that's
let
what
all
happened.
y'all talk. I let
Go
all
ahead.
y'all talk.
Go ahead.
So the reason, no, because I'm going off of what Patty said.
Yes.
Was it Patty or was it you? One of you said that, oh, the girls that don't like the word is the ones that don't want to be moved.
Yeah, you cut me off in the middle of me
trained.
saying that. Exactly.
No, it has nothing to do with that. It has everything to do with getting that word thrown at you by strangers, by males that don't fucking know you. I don't owe you shit. And you have no right to tell me to accept
what strangers are trying to train you?
You are nobody to tell me what
told
word I
you
need
I
to
said
No,
don't
you
like
are
the
lying.
word.
Nobody on this panel is going to train you.
That's what it has to do with.
Okay, man. When you finish, let me
context
go.
that the word is getting used in and who it's getting used by.
Man, hey,
Okay,
Will. No, one second, Will. 1 second, just Will, just for clarity, because you are the host, right, Will? Wasn't this teaching presented on a man and woman relationship? My man needs to teach me to do something. Wasn't this on the context of relationships? Why are you pretending, man, like the stranger is saying, man, you should know how to do? No, we're talking about the man that you chose. And now that we know that, man, are you going to allow the man that you chose to be your man to sometimes here and there tell you, man, I like my sandwich this way instead of that way. Can you do it, please? Are you going to allow that?
Absolutely. My boyfriend will even tell you that because I know what he wants and I know what he doesn't want. How is that? How is that?
Which means you were trained to know
I
that.
wasn't trained. I was aware of what he wanted and what he didn't want when I started getting to know him.
Right, which means you were getting trained to know him.
Anything on me. I already knew how he was after I started talking to him. I already knew what he needed because he made it very evident of what he needed.
But he told you.
Because he was training
No.
you.
That's not training. Absolutely not. It's not training.
Absolutely it is.
I think Alejandra was trying to get in here.
Yeah. So let me keep it moving. Let me just read the super chat and I'll pass it to you, Alejandra. Jacob Simmons again. Thank you some. There we go. With the $29 right there. There we go. Jacob Simmons. Why is it not showing up? There we go. There we go. Thank you so much, Jacob. Actually, $99 super chat. Appreciate you for super chatting and donating to the channel. And of course, don't forget, if you, I know a lot of you guys are new to the super chat. If you have something to say that you want me to read, you can definitely add it when you drop your super chat. So if you want your voice to be heard, take advantage of that. But we'll keep it moving. Alejandra, thank you for jumping on as a public guest. Yeah, go ahead. Well, what's your thoughts to add on tonight's discussion?
For me personally, when you say training, it's like, for me, it's like you're taking from me. You're trying to train me to mold me to what you want me to be. And it's like, once you do that, it's like, no, like you're taking that energy from me. And now you want me to be the way that you want me to be. And that's the issue that I have. It's like, I'm down to mold myself in a way that we both comprehend and we could like vibe with it. But when you say training, it's like, no, you're not going to take from me what I created. And I took so much hurt from this and that or whatever. And now you're just going to tell me you're going to train me. No. I am who I am. You're either going to accept me and I'm down to be, I'm down to go your way or move certain ways so that we could live right and have a good mutual understanding. But once you say training, it's like, no, like no, it just does not make sense in my head. I feel like that's the offensive part. Like, don't take from me because I'm beautiful how I am, but I'm down to be down for you. But once you say training, it's like, no, that don't work for me.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for sharing, Alejandro. Fatty, you want to respond? Go ahead.
Will, this woman created the biggest bullshit that I ever saw in my life, calling love languages. My love language is gifts. My love language is massages. Please. I'm telling you, don't do this for me. Listen to my love language. My language is this. So please do it. That's training. You're telling the man in front of you that you don't like certain things, you prefer these things. So if my language is romantic gestures, that man will know that, will bring you flowers every week, give you candy every week, all that. You are bullshitters. You train men to do exactly what you do all the time. So when the other person is doing the same to you, is not taking away from you because you are beautiful and everything nice. They are trying to teach you how to treat them, and that's totally fair. If you don't want to comply, bounce, because you do that shit all the time to men, but you, for some reason, training a woman is disrespectful. Men are trained all the time.
Let yourself get trained. Don't be mad if you let yourself get trained. That's different. If you allow yourself to get trained, don't be mad at us. We don't want to be trained. If you want to be trained, that's your thing. But think about it. If you want to be trained and you fall for that shit on a girl that does some shit that's not even worth it, okay, that's on you. Don't be mad. But I'm not gonna allow a dude to train me when I work so fucking hard to be who the fuck I am, and I'm a regulator in my motherfucking life. You
she works so hard.
Fatty, wait, listen, Fatty, but you should actually be thankful, right? Because the comment that she made is exactly what Carmen was just saying about how it makes them feel.
It's feelings.
People don't like to be told. Women, I'm sorry, not people. Women don't like to be told they're not perfect.
No,
they don't like to be told that no matter how much work you think you did, there's still some changes you can make. There's still a place for you to improve. They don't like to hear that.
Yadi want to say something real quick. Go, Yadi.
I do want to say something. It was in reference to the video, right? Like, you know how one of the other girls said something, or even you said, well, that in the comments that a lot of women were like, oh, I don't need to change. He needs to accept me for how I am.
Absolutely.
You know, all this other stuff. My only thing with that is that's fine. And you're right. Nobody needs to change for anybody else. You don't need to get trained by anybody else. But then don't get all upset later on in life when you haven't found a partner that wants to put up with your bullshit. You know?
And Carmen, it's even worse. Let me do the probing question. Let me do the $1 million question. Alejandra.
Yes.
What do you lose by treating me how I want you to treat me? What do you lose? What do you lose in your life if I say, I like my sandwiches this way, I like to fold my clothes this way, I want you to give me a good morning kiss every time I wake up? What do you lose in your life? What do I take from you by teaching you and telling you I like these things my way? What do you lose?
It's when you use the word teaching me, like you're not teaching me. We're
not a question.
No, I'm answering your question. You asked me a question, I'm answering.
Yes.
We're learning each other. You're not training me. I'm understanding what you like. No, listen. I'm understanding what you like. You're understanding what I like. Training me is like, okay, I gotta do shit the way you want me to fucking do it, because that's training.
That's not the question.
Your way. No, if I don't do it your way, then you didn't train me.
That's not the question.
No,
you are.
But we said we were going to listen, and you can't respond because then you're not listening.
That's not the question, because you are.
You can't respond because then you're not listening.
Lady, you are using your feelings to. Lady, listen.
This ignorant. So in the conversation,
Alejandra,
listening.
One step back. Let's have a conversation.
I'm trying to listen to
it's very quick.
Guys, let's just go one by one. Alejandra, finish, and then once you finish, then Patty.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that.
Finish it, Alejandra. Go ahead. Just finish it.
I don't lose anything. I actually want to do everything that a man wants me to do. I want to, but once you start saying like training or I feel like I got to be forced to do something the way you want it to be done. I'm goddamn the first thing I want to do is to make you happy. If I know that you like something, I'm going to go my way. I'm going to go out of my way to do it the way you like it. But once you say training, it's like you're forcing me to be a way that you want me to be. And I'm not going to do that, because once you didn't lost me already when you want to force me to do some shit the way you want it to be. Like now you're not even valuing the fact that I'm already willing to do shit your way, and now you're gonna train me? Like the fuck?
This is Will.
I
This
gotta get out
Will.
of
Do you see
America.
this?
Fatty
see this,
respond.
Will?
Hey, remember when Fatty responds, please don't cut him off. Go ahead, Fatty.
Will, this is what I'm. This is like when you guys put the onus on the men. The men are the leaders, and they are women that can be coachable are not going to be coachable for nobody. I don't care if you're LeBron James or if you're a bum on the street. And listen, you guys want good communicators. I tried my best. I ask you, what do you lose by doing things when I tell you, please, can you do these things this way? And what you went, I feel this word hurts my feelings because he's hurting me, and the teaching word hurts my feelings. Without respect, fuck your feelings. You know what my feelings get hurt? When I have to wake up at 6 in the morning to go to work to pay the bills. My feelings are hurt all the time. They are hurt when I clock in. They are hurt when I miss my kids' practice because I have to go to work. I'm hurt all the time. I want to get at home, watch Netflix. So I'm not
like just being a man.
Let Fatty finish.
So if my feelings get hurt, I don't ponder on my bed looking at you and saying, love, should I go to work? Because my feelings, I don't know what I feel about going to work today. I get up and go. I'm expecting for a grown woman to understand that me saying I teach my wife is nothing abusive, is nothing derogatory. I love you. I care about you. I'm just telling you and to guide you on what I want you to do so you can do it on an effective way and we can move on. What do you lose from that? Please answer the question. Don't dodge. What do you lose from me telling you I would rather have my sandwich with lettuce instead of tomatoes? What do you lose from that?
I said nothing. I said I am.
That's the point. In the story, you lose nothing.
But don't say like you're training us. Like, what the fuck is a training? We're fucking comprehending each other, and we're trying to learn from each other. And we're trying to build. What the fuck are you talking about? So I train you. I can train you. What am I going to train you to do?
So Alejandro, let me say this, right? Because I'm telling you,
you can train me. It's fine.
Here's the crazy part.
You can
right?
train me.
Because this is what you just said.
It's just podcast. It's just 30. It's just 1 second. I'm okay with you training me. Are you willing to let me train you? I'm willing to concede. I'm as a good husband. I'm willing to let you train me. Oh, you need to this? I will do it. Oh, you need this way? I will do it. Are you willing to let me train you the way the reverse? Yes or no?
Each other. Yes. Yes.
Do you see this shit?
It's the fucking word. It's
just ego and pride.
Communication is
just ego and pride. Nothing more, nothing less.
I've been trying to say this.
And you're like, I'm willing. I just told you what I want to do for my man is fucking, I want to be there for my man. I want to build him. I want to inspire him. I want to stimulate his fucking mind. But once you say like, you're training me, like, what the fuck?
Lil Beans, go ahead, Beans. You want to say
can't
something?
escape this, man. Respectfully, from no panel, every single panel I go to, bro, it's this. Like, think about what she just said. Will, would you give me permission to react to this?
Go ahead,
my man, bro. She said, "I want to do what you want me to do, but when you tell me what you want me to do, that's a problem."
No.
Ma'am, I can rewind the video back and I will play it for you. That is what you said.
Let him finish, Alejandro. Let him
exactly.
Finish.
Thank you, Will. For the 18th time, he's had to say that. So we see accountability does not work here, right? She literally said that. And that's why I'm sitting here saying it's all about the word. We know what it is. It's the word. We get it. It's the word. But the point is, we're bringing children into the world. This is insane. It's delusional at best, right? To say that this word that existed prior to any connotation you want to put on it, right? I'm going to say that this is what the word means, regardless of what the definition of the word is. I'm going to make up fantasies about strangers walking up to me saying, hey, I'm about to train you, right? Instead of accepting the context that we're talking about inside of a relationship, I'm going to give you descriptions of how relationships work, which is developing and improving inside of the relationship, which is giving instructions and practicing inside of the relationship, literally the definition of training, but I'm going to argue that I'm bothered by the word. This is insane.
They think he's a Pokemon. You found it on the street. Go Pikachu! Like they think he's a fucking Pokemon. He's not a real person that you love. He's a
Let me read some super chats real quick, and I'll pass it back to the panel. Those who haven't said anything yet, so that way you guys can add on. Make sure everybody participating. I see T.O. in the live chat posted a super chat. Being and running needs to be trained. Look how she reacts. I appreciate you, man. Thank you for super chat. Zyrex, $5 reel. Can you read Jacob's message in chat, please? His message didn't go through super chat. He has a problem that he would like the panel's opinion on, please. Yeah, thanks. Oh yeah, just write it again on the super chat, and I'll be able to read it and get the panel to respond to it. Jacob, thank you so much for your super chats. And Tio in the live chat said, your parents, teachers, bosses train you, but the man for the rest of your life can't train you.
Thanks.
Absolutely.
All right, no worries. Appreciate you. But I do want to add, I do want to give it back to Yadi, Damien, Palavesa. I know they were going back and forth between Fatty, Lil Beans, and Jessica to make sure everybody's participating. Let me start with you, Damien. Damien, anything you want to add on based on what
I think this is this horse has been dead and been beaten to hell. So it's obvious some people don't like the word train. It's obvious people are fine with the word train. I guess it depends on your relationship. If your woman ain't got a problem with it, you ain't got no problem. If your man ain't got no problem with it, you ain't got no problem with it. That's it.
What's your opinion, Damien, for the word training? What's your opinion? And by the way, Will, you have to refresh StreamYard. It's freezing for everybody. Like you had like just refresh. What is your opinion about the word training, Damien? Are you okay
like I said, like I said before, I have certain things I do have a negative connotation because of my experience. The things that when I associate with the word training somebody else, it has like I was in the military, I got trained. I played sports, I got trained. You know, so it can have a negative connotation to me. So I don't want to pass that on to somebody else. So I might just rephrase it and use a different word. That's all.
So I don't think with the word training, right?
I'm okay with doing it. I'm okay with doing it. I'm just saying in the context of, somebody that, if it offended the person I was with, I wouldn't use it. I'd find a different way to use it. I find a different word.
Ex-military guy listens to the word training that you've been through hundreds, thousands of times, and he says, if your feelings are hurt, this goes on with the gender war, with the pronouns, with all that.
That's where dudes get shit weird. No, it's just like, dude, why? If you care about somebody and somebody's offended by something, just use something different. It ain't a big deal.
Damien, that's fair. That's fair. Damien, I had the trans woman on my panel a couple of.
Not say training. What do you lose?
No, that's fine. No.
From not using the word training, what do you lose?
Yes. I lose the fact that words have meanings, and if I have to pussyfoot around and tippy-toe around you because you get offended by words, now I can communicate effectively with you because I'm going to think every time I'm going to say something that madame might be offended, and now I don't get pussy by the end.
I don't know. I think you've taken it from 2 to 10 real easy. It's just like
every fucking morning. What I lose of cooking bacon and eggs every fucking morning. So if I want you, if I was your woman and I don't want you to use the word training, what the fuck do you lose?
What is the word?
I mean, if you find, Fatty, if you're in a situation where you find that every word that you're saying is being offensive, then you're with the wrong person. You're somebody who's hypersensitive. You need to just
training and teaching is the
lowest common denominator. Hold on. But I'm saying, but if it's just one of those situations where she was like, you know what, that makes me feel because of my experience and my understanding of what training is, can you use something different? And you like, I don't see there's no big deal and say, all right, you
right, an ego. Fatty said it.
Whatever. You're pretending like that's not the actual. Hold on, Fatty.
No, I'm not saying. Listen,
Damien. You're pretending like that's not the starting point. That's how it begins. You start saying one thing, and then the next thing, and then the next thing. It's the same reason why from the beginning, Damien. It's the same reason why from the beginning, when they first started saying that they were going to prohibit white people from using the N-word, I didn't like it. because I knew what it would lead to. Now you can't say this word. Now you can't say that word.
Well, nobody's prohibited.
That's where it
Somebody
starts.
can say what they want. Anybody can say what they want. They just have to accept the repercussions of saying whatever the fuck you want.
And that's
Like
the
if you
point.
tell me, hold on, let me finish. Let me get the point. If you tell me, baby, it offends me when you could say, you know, I'm gonna train you to cook the steak how I want, and I'll be like, all right, then cool. But if I continue to say it and it offends you to the point where you don't want to rock with me and don't want to be with me no more, I'm willing to accept that repercussions of it. Just know that. But if I value what you bring, I would just be like, okay, I'll use a different word. It's not a big thing. I think people are making
that's not what we talking
adding
about.
all this weight to things that are just
because that's not what we talking about. Damn it, man.
That is exactly what we're talking about because the people are saying they're offended by the word.
No, it's not.
And you're saying you shouldn't be offended by the word.
No, it's not. We're not talking. Hold on, Fetty. Damien, we're not talking about a man saying, babe, come over here so I can train you. That's not what we're talking about. That wasn't the video.
Like I said, nobody's saying
nobody's
saying that. Like I said, no.
Before you move
this
forward,
woman in the video, let me bring
it
it back to the video. The woman in the video is comfortable using that word.
Absolutely.
She's 100%. So if a dude said, okay, you want to be trained? I'm going to train you how to do X, Y, Z. She'd rock with it left and right. The other woman in the video probably wasn't comfortable with that word. So if he wanted to get the same result, he'd have to phrase it in a different way.
Right, but
that's all I'm
what I'm saying. In order, you're taking it into the relationship and saying, yo, you if your woman don't want you to say train. Nobody is saying to their woman, babe, come here so I can train you. Babe, let me train you. Wait. When you talking, I let you talk.
Okay.
Nobody is saying that. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about in conversation like right now. Women are offended by the word in conversation, Damien. That is insane, bro.
The video was about it being in a relationship. That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, but that's not what we're talking about. Because nobody said that. Neither did she. She never said, I need my man to come to me and say, hey, honey, it's training time.
No.
Okay, so stop.
She used the word training, so she's happy to. She'd be fine if a dude went up to her and said, "Hey, you know what? You wanted to be trained? Let me train you how I want you to cook my eggs in the morning."
Right. Nobody said that.
Have no problem.
Nobody said that. We're talking about the use of the word as it pertains to having conversations with women. That is the topic right now. And women are being delusional and insane about it, right? So here's my question. Jessica, hold on, Jessica. Here's my question, because I know Will said he wanted to get other people in too, right? Yeah. Here's my question to Jessica, right? So Jessica, I don't have no money. I sit up and I play video games all day. I ain't got no job. Am I broke? Yes or no?
Yes.
No, I'm offended by that. You can't call me broke. It's not applicable. That is disrespectful.
I just said that because
no. I am offended. Will, I will give you $5 to drop her off the panel because I am offended. She called me broke, and that is racist and disrespectful.
I wasn't even saying you. You asked if
it was not. It was.
Yeah, I know.
I don't get to be broke, right?
He was trying to prove a point.
I'm rich, actually. Call me rich because that's what I am.
I want to add something after this.
Let me move it to the panel. I know we definitely have different opinions about this, but let's go one by one, just to make sure that people can hear what you have to say and we're not talking over each other. But let me read some super chats real quick, and I'll pass it to Yadi, Mena, and Balafesta because I do want to include you guys, make sure everybody participating, and Jessica as well. Ali posted a super chat on the. Shout out to you, Ali. Everything they talk about is what they want, not what men want. That's why women stay single. They say what men want to hear to get leverage over men. They want you to be a leader till they don't. It's all bait and switch. All right, thank you so much, Ali. Also, another super chat from Ali. She cussing like a sailor, but don't want a trainer. You need home training, wife training, women training, and class training. You definitely need to be trained if you don't know how to be a woman. And also, Jacob Simmons. Shout out to you. I'm an overbearing mother. I'm 32, engaged. She meddles in everything. It's guilt trips over nothing. It's messing with my relationship now and overall mental health. Any tips worth saying? My dad has cancer. I think Jacob wanted at the panel to respond to this. Anybody wanted to respond to Jacob, give him some tips? Go ahead, Yadi.
Jacob, you're the one that's giving your mom as much control over you as you allow. Okay. You're 32 years old, especially now that you're committed to somebody else. That is your number one priority. I'm sorry that your dad has cancer. Be there as much as you can for him, and in any way that you can help your mom without jeopardizing your relationship with your woman. Because I do know some extremely toxic people that do stuff to, I mean, I've seen it all. So you need to cut the umbilical cord and, put some boundaries up for your mom.
And just to piggyback, I would say, Jacob, you need to have some definite repercussions and consequences if she does not adhere to those boundaries. And you need to be comfortable with that. If your mama say, if it's like, I'm not going to talk to you, or I'm going to cut you out of my life or whatever like that, and just kind of communicate with you regarding my father that has cancer, you need to be able to live with that and stick to that. And then, and you, like I said, you can't say it and not do it because it has no merit. But like I said, establish boundaries and let her know the repercussion of what happens if she doesn't adhere to those boundaries.
All right.
That's what people say all kinds of shit, but then they don't have no consequences.
Thank you, Damien. Sounds like he's going to have to train his mother. I was just joking. All right. So anybody else want to add on to respond to Jacob? Anybody?
Yeah, you can love people from afar. You don't need to be in their close proximity. You don't need to listen or agree to everything they have to say, especially your parent. You can love them from afar. Say, Mom, I love you, but I don't agree with the way that you're involving yourself in this relationship, and that's fine. I just need to concentrate on what's important, and what is important is a family that I'm trying to create. And if you get in the way, I still love you, but I need to remove myself. It takes a lot of strength, especially when it comes to your parents, to do those things, but it's required. And it sounds like it's demanded of you right now, since you're engaged in 32.
All right, thank you, Paulo.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely, man. I went through not like that, but a different kind of struggle with my mom, and it got to a point where I just had to address her like a man. I couldn't talk to her like I was her child. I had to talk to her like I was a man. Yo, listen, you can't do this. You can't talk to me like that no more. Like I'm not gonna accept that because and then you want to use the mama card every time, right? And that was very difficult, and it took a long time, really years, like 5 years, for her to begin to actually adhere to that. But what she has become in the last 2 years has been a blessing. So yeah, you just got to be willing to do it. I don't think you'll lose your mom. You just got to be willing to set the boundaries.
Okay, all right, Beans, appreciate that. That's it. Anybody else? We good? All right, and last Ali, thank you so much for the last one. Women aren't offended by the word because they'll be okay if they said they need to train you. They're making an excuse not to listen. All right, shout out to you. Thank you. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to everybody with the super chats. I really appreciate you guys. Like I said, if you want your voice to be heard, drop it through a super chat. I'll be able to read it and respond to you guys. I appreciate it. But we'll keep it moving. I do want to make sure everybody's participating. Mena, I'll ask you, Mena, anything you want to add on? Then I'll pass to you, Paulo Fessa and Jessica. Go ahead, Mena.
I don't give a fuck. Just don't say it to me. Like, I really don't give a fuck. Just don't say it to me. Period. That's that.
Okay. All right. Thank you for sharing that, Mena. We'll keep it moving. Paulo Fessa, I know you wanted to add on. Go ahead, Paulo Fessa.
Look, I'm with Damien at this point. It's been beaten up so much that the course is The idea of training, I think where the conversation is leading astray is the concept of training is the same as teaching is coaching. And I think what we're finding is that we're clashing between that ideal and the use of the word. Look, for me and my understanding is that if we were such perfect human beings, we wouldn't have divorces. We wouldn't separate from each other. So there's a requirement of being coached, being trained, being taught in the ways of how to love another human being in romantic sense. This is involved from the beginning to the end of a relationship. And I don't understand why people are so against the word, but look, if it's your experience, then it's valid. And I'm not going to take that away from you. I don't have anything against the word training because I understand the fundamental of what it is. If I was such a perfect human being, I wouldn't need to be taught. In my first relationship would have been my last. But that's not the case, and I don't think that's the case for a lot of people in the West. So that's why I'm fine with the word.
Okay. All right. Thank you for Balafessa. And I'll pass it to you, Jessica. Jessica, anything you wanted to add on?
No, I pretty much said everything I felt about it. I appreciate being here. This little chat was cool. I liked it.
All right. Appreciate you. Thank you so much, Jessica. And then Ali just posted another super chat. Kiss their mothers with that mouth. All right, Ali, thank you so much for your super chat. Appreciate you guys as always. We'll keep it moving. Also, this is a question I wanted to ask the ladies. You know, the word training it's semantics. Some of you guys don't want that word, but I think it depends on what definition you have it on. But I want to ask you guys because I do hear of a lot of women. They said they want a leader. So Mena, Yadi, Jessica, and Alejandro, do you guys want the man to lead? Do you want to lead? So Yadi says yes. Mena, do you want the man to be the leader in the relationship? Yes.
Oh my.
Okay. All right. So Alejandro, do you want a man to lead the relationship?
Oh my God, Will, stop doing this to me, Will.
All right, Jessica. Do you want the man to?
No. I don't want my man to lead my.
That's fine. Okay.
That's my own opinion.
But did you say you'd be submissive in a relationship if you found a man?
If somebody was, but I'm not going to say that I want somebody to lead
a
connection.
God, Will,
because
stop,
I know who I am, so it wouldn't make sense to, like, I'm different than everybody else. Just like y'all are all individually, the way your mind works is different. That's just what I personally feel.
Okay.
Because I just had my own experience.
Let me just ask these questions, and then I just want to hear from the ladies, because I see it on social media and having podcasts with women. There's a lot of women.
Flabbergasted.
They are attracted to men who are leaders. They're attracted to men who can teach them things. I've literally heard this from women's mouth, like, I want my man to teach me things. I want my man to tell me how to do things. I want to learn. I want a man to be able to learn from him and be able to look up to him. Okay, so my question is, if you guys want a leader, if you guys want a man that has more knowledge, more experience in life, to teach you things that you may not know, to help you grow as a woman, to help you grow in your relationship, I guess what my question is to you guys: does do you guys believe that part of the responsibility of being a good man, a good leader to you, that's going to teach you and then help you grow? Do you think that part of his responsibility as a leader is to also hold you accountable? Yes or no?
Absolutely.
Okay. And then Mena, so Yadi said yes. Alejandro said yes. Mena, what about you?
Holding accountable, absolutely. You said something else before, the holding accountable, that I didn't agree with, though. But the holding accountable, I do agree with.
I think the thing I said before was, I think because a lot of women say they want a leader, they want a man to be able to teach her things and help her grow and give her more experiences. That's generally what a lot of women say. Is that
when it comes to, I agree with holding me accountable if I'm fucking up in something. Like if I, for example, I don't know, if I had a bad habit of doing things that were self-harming to me, and he just turned the other eye and was like, nah, I'm not going to do anything about it because, well, I love you. No, that's not love. If you see that a person's doing something self-destructive or is doing something wrong or whatever, hold that person accountable. But when it comes to like leading, like, you're not my father. I don't need you to lead me to do shit. You're not my parent. You're my partner. So I think that's a totally different thing, completely separate.
Yadi, go
For me, I don't want to be held accountable because I hold myself accountable. I'm a person of integrity. And holding, so this is an argument that comes up, right? Holding people accountable for their actions. Some people say is holding accounts, right? Like you're keeping track. And I don't see it like that. I think we all know how to respect the other person that we're in a relationship with. And I don't feel I need to be reminded, right? But I have no problem holding someone else accountable if they're lacking, if that makes sense.
Sometimes you don't realize that you're doing something, and that's when you need to be held accountable. I think that's where that comes in. Sometimes we're naive because we're so solid to ourselves and we're like, okay, I got this. And sometimes we do dumb shit without even thinking, or it just comes naturally because we're just that empowered or whatever it is. Sometimes you need to be remembered like, hey, you know what? You hurt my fucking feelings and you didn't think you hurt somebody's feelings. I think that's when that comes into play.
So,
Yadi, I just got a quick question. Were you saying you want to be able to hold somebody else accountable but not being held accountable? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, I am saying that, but because I hold myself accountable. Okay. As far as hurting other people's feelings, you know when you hurt somebody else's feelings. You just know it. Okay.
Do you?
So,
always?
Yes. I think everybody always knows when you hurt somebody else's feelings. I'm glad it's so funny for Meta, but you know, and the thing is, it's like you either care or you don't care. So whenever I hurt somebody's feelings, I know it. And if I did it intentionally, I'm not going to apologize. And if you hurt me intentionally, I don't want your apology because you chose to do it. Okay. I don't want apologies. You chose to do it. So you meant it. So I'm talking about accountability when you can't see what you're refusing to admit something, like you're making an excuse for something. That's what I'm talking about. I can see when I fuck up.
You don't think you can hurt somebody's feelings without knowing it? Like their experience could determine what you said can affect in the way that it affects them. You just feel like I already know that what I've said won't hurt you unless I wanted to hurt you.
Right. And so
I'm gonna have to call cap on that.
If I hurt you unintentionally, I think everybody, when you're hurting somebody, you know you're hurting them. There is no way you don't know you're hurting that person.
I don't believe that.
Okay, so wait. Before we jump off,
let's go one by one. Let's go one by one. Go Alejandra, go, and then I'll go to Beans. Just go ahead. You want something to say, Alejandra? Go.
Said if I hurt you unintentionally, then but that's the point. That sometimes we don't hurt someone intentionally, but the other person does see it that way. So that's when they tell you, you know what you did was some bullshit. And you just literally said, I don't want to be held accountable. But your perception of what you thought was not it, but the other person, for them, it was. And so you don't want to, but you're quick to do it. That's kind of hypocrite. Like that's
I can see that. But you know what? This is my thing. Like if you get triggered by something or if you get upset over something, that's not my problem. That's your problem to deal with. Right?
Absolutely. Your problem.
That is not a healthy way to look at it in relationships.
It is, because you know what? I'm not intentionally out there hurting anybody. If I'm hurting you, it's because it was intentional.
It is a problem. So now it's your problem. So you deal with it and don't check nobody.
It's not my problem if somebody else gets all offended or upset.
Check them.
If they're the ones pissed, not me.
Okay, wait. Hold on 1 second, please, Alejandro.
Go ahead, Beans.
I have a question, and I'm not asking these questions facetiously. Yadi, can you tell me what your ethnicity is?
I'm Latin.
Same thing for Alejandro, right? Mina?
I'm Latina.
Okay, so really quickly, I just want to say to my son, and I'm gonna send him this video.
Don't fuck
I'm
with
sorry. Daddy was wrong. When Daddy told you to stay away from black women and date Hispanic women, I was wrong. I take it back. I changed my mind. Get you an Arab woman, okay? Because this is insane right now.
That's some money though if you give it an Arab woman.
Listen, Yadi, I'm thankful because you're being honest, right? Because most women won't. They will come up here and lie. So I thank you for being honest about the fact that you don't like accountability and you don't want to be held accountable. Because most women won't even be honest about that. They'll just try to gaslight.
I don't need it. I hold myself accountable.
Yeah, but that's not. But see, here's the thing about it. You don't know. Do you think you're a good person?
No.
Okay, so thank you again for being honest. See, that's what I'm saying, right? Because
wow,
there are people out here who believe they are a good person, and it's not because somebody is telling them that they are. It's just their perception of themselves. But you don't understand or how people are experiencing you unless you allow them to tell you that. Right?
Get feedback.
So I'm a very angry person. I yell a lot. I cuss people out. Right? I know in my heart, I feel like I'm justified in doing it because they earned it. But at the same time, sometimes I lash out at other people who weren't intentionally trying to make me feel the way someone else was doing intentionally. You see what I'm saying? So then in that moment, I have to accept accountability and I have to allow them to hold me accountable. Hey, man, that thing that you lashed out on me about, I wasn't doing that. This is what I was doing. And then I have to accept that, right? And then the reason why we offer up apologies, it's not because we're never going to do it again, but we offer up apologies because it's not intentional. I want you to know that it is not my intention to hurt you, which is why I say I'm sorry, even though I know I may have a propensity to do it again. You see what I'm saying?
That's my thing, right? You just said it. You're apologizing, but you're going to do it again, right?
No, I'm saying I'm not. If I would lie, I would be lying to you if I said I'm never going to do that again.
Right. That's what
I don't know that for sure. I'm not a
apologize,
prophet.
Right. I apologize when I truly, really mean it and I fucked up. And I tell my kids sorry. I don't care who it is. I recognize when I fuck up. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I try not to live my life like that. So I don't need to be held accountable because I'm just not out here hurting people. I'm not out, being a bitch to everybody. I'm not, that's not me.
Do you think people think you as a good person? Let me hold on, Pac Beans. Let me ask you, do you think people around you said you don't think of yourself as a good person? You think people around you think you're a good person?
Yes.
You contradicted yourself, Carmen. Because
I don't think I'm a good person.
But you contradicted yourself. You contradicted yourself because you said, I think I'm a bad person. Bad people need to no, that's fine, but bad people need to be corrected all the time. If you have that impression about yourself, bad people are the ones that did correction multiple times.
I correct myself.
So that's the thing. But that's the thing. Either you accept that you are a bad person and you accept correction and accountability from other people because you think you are a bad person, or you think you are a good person, and then we can figure out if you actually other people should hold you accountable or not. But those views are kind of contradicting. And I just want to say one thing because my computer is dying, right? We leave like this conversation actually brings me a lot of memories about you guys, like me, you, and Paulo, having this conversation about so men should be the leaders and all that. We live on a world where this woman called papi and daddy to a man that they met on Tinder a week ago. And that shit is not creepy, it's not offensive, it's not nothing to them. But the word teaching is, oh, wow! Like, do you understand how left we went? This woman called their boyfriends papi, daddy. Like that's literally the bottom of the bottom. I bend you on my bed, I put you on force, I pull your head, I spit on your mouth, I do the most egregious, vulgar things to you, and that doesn't offend you at all. But me saying, "Can I teach you something?" Ah! This world is just gone, man. Like there's nothing I can do about it. It's done. It's done.
Can I get a minute before your computer?
Yeah, go ahead, Alejandro. Go ahead.
Check this out. A lot of us come with a lot of fucking background that you have no knowledge of. A lot of us have issues too, and we're learning in the process. Getting upset about it is not gonna, that doesn't work. You're upset so bad from something like you don't even know our background. You don't know we got raped. You don't know we have a dad. You don't know if our dad fucking this or that or what. You don't know our background. You just want to judge us and be like rah, 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 on everything that we're saying. But we have a reason to be the way that we are. We probably never had a guy that's going to be solid for us. So now we got to be solid for ourselves. Now I can't let you dog me because you know what? I've been dogged since I was 7, 8, 9. I went through that issue, and I understand that it's not your responsibility. It's not nobody's responsibility with that. But there's a reason why we are the way that we are, and not all of us. One thing is for sure for me, though. I want to learn. and I learn every fucking day. I thrive to learn, and whatever the whole information that comes in, no, believe it or not, I don't care what you say because I know who I am and I'm solid to myself. Every information that comes in, I soak it in. I know I'm not perfect, but I try to learn every single day. And don't judge me for who I am, but also don't just dog me out. Comprehend me too, so you start understanding. Because remember, one day you're gonna have a daughter, or you have a mother, or you have a sister, and you don't have a background, and we all go through different type of shit.
Alejandra, did you say don't judge me?
Play the violin already.
Hey, no, one second. Did you say don't judge me for who I am? Did you say that? Did you say don't judge me for who I am? Did you say that?
I'll let you talk. I'll be respectful.
No, it's a question. Did you say don't judge me for who I am? How should I judge you then? For who you not like? How? What should I do? How should I? Don't judge me for who I am. How do you want to be judged?
Don't judge for my opinion is what I'm saying. I'm learning and I'm listening. I'm not sitting here to have a debate with you on like, oh, we're going to sit here and fight with each other. But don't downgrade my opinion and the way that I grew up because you don't have my story.
Ladies, I am not responsible for the 17 dicks that you put inside of you before you met me. It's not my fault. I slept with several women before I met you. I'm not going to say, Alejandra, you don't know the trauma that this woman caused on me. Please respect me. No, I am a grown-up. I'm not going to cry about it, and I'm going to treat you like an adult. You guys literally and Will got you so bad. You guys were so offended about the word teaching, and then most of you about train, and then you turn around and you said, yes, I want somebody to lead me. You guys are children. You don't understand words. You can't communicate. Your words is feelings, and by the end of the day, children need to be led. So listen. Be quiet and listen more. That's why you have 2 ears and 1 mouth. Start to listen more.
You're making yourself look so bad. It's crazy.
I know.
Let me keep it in Balafessa. I want to include Balafessa. I know he.
I'm sorry, man. I apologize.
Thanks, Damien, for taking the mic from me.
You're a victim.
Real quick, let me read one more super chat. MC Heavy Tits, $4.99. I'm publicly renouncing the sisterhood. It's fake and gay. Okay. All right. Thank you, MC Heavy Tits. As always, I always appreciate you guys super chatting. If you want your voice to be heard, drop it through a super chat. I'll read it for the audience and respond. Balafessa, I know you wanted to add on. I saw you raise your hand. Go ahead, Balafessa.
I didn't raise my hand. I'm so confused where this conversation is currently at. We then went on a tree branch of different things. And I want to speak on the accountability part.
Yeah.
My understanding of accountability is the ability to self-regulate. Yes, regulate yourself, but to also receive it from others. It's what accountability is. And that I disagree with your perception of accountability, Carmen. But look, potato. But this conversation has just gone so many different routes. I don't know where to hold on. And so if you align me on what you want me to weigh in on, I'm more than happy to abide by that.
Wait. I want to ask a question. Are you a Christian, Palafasa?
I was raised in a Christian-orientated religion, but I'm no longer part of any religion at the moment.
What about you, Damien? You a Christian?
I'm an atheist.
You an atheist? Okay.
Why didn't you ask me?
Alejandro, hold on.
Ask me.
You a Christian?
I'm a believer.
Okay. Carmen? No? Okay. Mina?
I'm a spiritualist.
Okay.
Oh my God.
So Alejandro, since you're the only one who responded like you actually care, right? Let me ask you this question. Do you believe that, because I don't know if it was you or Jessica, somebody said something earlier, may have been Mina, to the fact that a man does not have control over his woman's body. Do you agree with that statement?
I didn't say any of that. I
said I didn't know who it was. But
It was Mana. It was Mana. Mana said, "My body, my choice."
Okay. So Alejandro, I'm asking, do you agree with the statement that a man has control over his woman's body? Or let's say wife.
I believe that you need to communicate before you make it. If you're in a relationship, I believe before you make a choice, you need to communicate with each other.
Oh, that was not the
So,
question.
right. So I'm
Say,
just trying to confirm.
like genuinely choose. Like, let's pretend we're talking about like what me being pregnant, me not wanting to get pregnant. Be more specific so I can.
I'm
answer.
saying you don't tell me no.
Oh, I'm Hispanic. We don't say no.
Okay. So, Mina, you said
She just said no
you're
7 times.
Hispanic,
She's
right?
lying.
Patty, come on.
She said
Mina,
no multiple times. She's lying.
okay.
You know what she
Give me a
means.
second, bro.
Fatty, don't act like you don't know what he's talking about.
Taken away from me. Everybody else get a half out. Mina, so do you agree? You disagree with the statement that a man has control of his wife's body, right?
I believe that, for example, my partner, right? Let's say we're early stages of us dating. Okay, I get pregnant, I'm not ready for a kid. A conversation would need to be had with him.
Well, let's just
No.
stick with the sexual component.
No.
That's what we're talking about. We've already declared that we're talking about sex.
We're
talking about sex.
We're talking, Mina,
We're
don't be
talking about
disingenuous. We know we're talking about sex.
Right. We're talking about sex.
We're not talking about pregnancy.
Right.
So if I'm not in the mood, no, I don't want to have sex. I'm not gonna have sex, and you can't force me because you're my man. That is rape. Like, you cannot. If I tell you no, I don't want to have sex with you. I'm not in the mood right now. And regardless, he still forces himself on me. That's rape. That's rape. It does not matter if I'm with you, not with you. If I tell you no, I am not in the mood. Regardless, as men, no. It is so much different for men to have sex than it is for women. Women think when they're having sex.
Okay, not a rally.
Turning that shit off is not easy. So the fact that if she tells you no, she's not enjoying that. So you can't force yourself on somebody that is not enjoying something.
Not a rally. Not a rally. The reason why I'm asking the question is because I just try to understand how people reconcile things in their head, right? I'm a Christian, but this thing in the Bible that says this is how I'm supposed to operate, forget that. This word means this, but forget that. Right? Like, my job said this, but forget that. Like, I just don't understand. I can't reconcile how people make these determinations. How do you pick and choose where? Because if I said Mina is beautiful, right, and you wouldn't disagree with that. But if I said, well, over here, when they say beautiful, they really mean ugly, right? How, like, when we say bad, but we really mean good, man, that's a badass chick. That's a badass car, but we really mean good, right? If I said over here, when they say beautiful, they really mean ugly, you still wouldn't be offended by the word beautiful because you would accept the original connotation of the word. I don't understand why we can't do that with train. I don't understand why we can't do that with leader. I don't understand why we can't do it with all this stuff. I don't understand how people reconcile these things in their brains. How do we allow cognitive dissonance to fester in our minds? I don't get it.
Hold on. You can
Absolutely. Wait, you should let her respond.
Okay, I'm sorry.
So personally, for me, I cannot speak on any other woman. Like Damon said, that girl that said the word training, she's more than cool with being trained. There's women that are more than cool with being trained. That's actually even part of certain sexual stuff. Some girls like to be submissive. That's their kink. That's what they're into. That's totally fine. I think it just goes back to how that word was used to that person that you're talking to. So, for example, with me, if I don't know you, I don't have feelings for you, you're not anything to me, you shouldn't say things to me without really any consideration to how that can look on your end. And I think on top of that, it's because of the fact, not saying you guys, but as a society in general, just like there's a lot of good, there's a lot of bad. Some people are complete assholes, jerks, the scums of the earth, and they use certain words in a negative context to harm, to cause pain, to cause conflict because they're angry. There is people out there that will do that intentionally. So that's why the word train is where it's at now, at least for me, it's because not people with the best intentions have used it.
So when you all said that you wanted leaders, were you specifically just talking about money? Because that's what I wanted to ask Alejandro. Are you okay with 50-50?
Can I just want to jump? Hold on. I just want to ask. I know I'll let you get back to your point.
That's okay. Go ahead.
Like you just made a statement about how you understand how conversation, associating words can kind of derail the conversation or people. I'm paraphrasing. Please make it if I'm represent anything you say. Please do correct me. Like you said, how you don't understand how a simple word like train or stuff like that can kind of derail a conversation and help people put that much weight on it. And it just it shouldn't be that something like that should be so triggering and kind of derail a conversation that we have a long conversation. Am I in the right vein of what you were saying? Please, am I right what you're saying, Beans? As far as the word shouldn't have that much weight in a conversation.
I think you're saying what I'm saying. The wording is a little off, but what I'm saying is okay. The word has definitions, right?
Yeah.
I understand connotations. If I said, man, they trained the shit out of Carmen, everybody knows I'm saying that in the quote unquote.
Okay. Let me finish my point.
So
because I was on a Fight Club with you once, and I forgot who it was, and somebody called you a bitch. You got on your phone with your boy and said, "What would happen in Chicago if somebody called him a bitch?" You and your boy said that dude wouldn't be walking away from that situation. So words have connotations and different meanings to different people, and like a bitch is a female dog. It's just a word. But if I go to you in the shy,
it's okay, Fatty. It's okay, Fatty. It's okay.
No, if I go I'm saying and say a bitch, that word has a different connotation to you because of your history and association with the word. That's all I'm saying. It's just like you got to recognize people associating rate and words will color the degree in which they feel offended by a specific word.
Right. So here's the thing, right? First of all, we already understand that bitch has a negative connotation when used against a man in that essence. You know that, but I'm gonna let you have that because I understand the point that you're trying to make. But here's the thing: these women on this panel, guess what? I know for a fact. I know for a fact they've had jobs, and I guarantee you they've showed up for training. And they didn't say, "Excuse me, supervisor, can you not call this training because I don't like that word?"
Yeah, I think that's
right.
A different connotation.
That right there is called a checkmate. This is the part
that is not a checkmate because there's a different connotation between an established. This is going to be a training for something that said, no, you need training. I'm going to train you specifically for me. I'm going to train you.
Absolutely. That's what you're doing in a relationship. Absolutely. So, and hold on, Damien. And you know how we know this is true? Because too many women are running around saying their man ain't even giving them orgasms. Too many women are saying just because it worked for her don't mean it can work for me. That's called two checkmates. This is the part where you stop talking. And you just accept the fact that you can't get away with this with me.
No, all I'm saying, but you agreed with my point. You agreed with my point. Am I correct?
No, I don't.
Words have connotation based. Words offend and have connotations based on somebody's experience with the word. Do you agree with that? Is that a valid point?
No.
Now I can call you a bitch all day and you wouldn't be tripping.
Now I'm going to be facetious because you won't agree with the fact that you just lost. You want me to agree, but you won't agree.
In what world?
The world that just happened. It just occurred, bro. Don't worry, I'll react.
In your world, you can have it. You got it. You the winner. I'm the loser.
My man, appreciate you. Thank you for the.
You the winner. I'm the loser.
So Alejandro, are you okay with 50-50?
I'm definitely okay with 50-50.
Okay. Carmen, are you okay with 50-50?
No. And I'm not offended by that word, train. I want a leader. So.
Okay. Mina, are you okay with 50-50?
So.
Yeah.
You okay with 50-50? That's what's up. Go ahead, Alejandro.
But you're not offended with the word of train, but you don't like to be checked. Like, that don't make sense. You don't like to be checked, but you like to check people, but you don't like to be checked, but you're okay with the word training.
I am. I'm okay with bitch because I know it doesn't apply to me. Okay. I don't let words trigger me. Okay. Because then you know what? You're giving them control over you. So
saying very well.
Well, that's not true, actually. Friday, your mic is muted. But that's not true, really quickly, Fatty. But that's not true, actually, Carmen. Because see, here's the thing. The example that Damien used, right? He said a bitch is a female dog, right? But when a person is saying you a bitch to you, well, they're literally calling you a female dog. That's not good about that. So this is why it was a bad example to use against Train.
No.
Right?
The reason why it wasn't is because if you're not a female dog, there shouldn't have any power over you, right? There should be zero power over you.
Let me just say,
but your experience is to telling you that is a negative thing because it has power over you.
Hey, podcast, I actually got you. Go ahead, Alejandro.
Training you, like, that's retarded. Like, that's
that word offended me. Why are you using that word to me when they're kids? Like, you see what I'm talking about? Everybody can play that game. This is no. Well, this is what we're going to do, right? If you want men like leaders, accept how they talk. And Damien, this is the bullshit that you're doing. You want to cuddle women and out the way they talk, because what they do is they will use the lowest common denominator by the words they don't like, and they don't do it by the words that they like. Let me give you an example, right? I don't like the word teaching because it reminds me of things that happened to me in the past. And then they say, I want a leader. Wasn't Stalin a leader? Wasn't whatever saying you have you had in history thousands of. Why are you over talking me? Control yourself.
Talking over me. It sucks, huh? You're a machista. You're a dude that wants a woman to fucking bend down and follow his fucking lead. You don't like a woman that's solid and grown and ready to be with you.
Why don't you ask me?
No, you want to be that man.
Why don't you ask me? Why are you pointing the end? Do you do that on your real life to a man when you're talking to a man, pointing his hand on his finger? Do you do that?
Why does that offend you? Why does this offend you? But you trust me, offend you. Get the
I'm going to come. Don't worry, Will. I'm going to de-escalate this. Don't worry about it. But this is a clear sign of people that are extremely aggressive to the point that they want you to care about how they perceive. Oh my God, don't use those words because those words treat. And then they're talking with the men like this, like I stole something from them.
Okay, I think.
Or actually pretending that they do is very disrespectful, and this is what I'm talking about.
Okay, let me
one second. I am asking you this, Damien, because the woman, it is what it is. Why do they use the lowest common denominator by the word teaching or coaching or whatever? But when we have the word leader that was used by Hitler, Stalin, a bunch of sanguinaries throughout history.
Wait, did you just say Hitler?
Oh, Jesus Christ!
Don't get triggered, man. He's just using it to it's just a vehicle to get to a point. Don't get triggered.
It's not triggering. If you are going to say don't use that word because something happened with that word that is very bad, the word leader is tied to the most brutal people in this planet, in the history of this planet. But for some reason, they are okay with it. They are picking and choosing which words trigger them and which words don't. And then, if you're going to play that game, we are going to get to a point where a woman will literally put 1,000 miles on the field because you are going to tiptoe around it, so you don't turn.
All right, hold on. Let me respond. Okay, Fatty, do you lead anybody in your personal life? Are you a leader of people in your personal life?
Absolutely. I do a lot of things on my real life that makes me in a position.
I run a very successful software sales team. Okay. Yes. There's people I can go to and say, you know what? Like I say, Steve, you're fucking up. If you don't get these numbers up, if you don't get these people doing it, I'm gonna have to do something. You're fucking up. You need to get off your ass, get up, go into the thing, and go make shit happen. I can communicate with you. The other people I can't do that with. I have to develop the communication skill, and I have to kind of tailor my communication to the person that's going to be most receptive to what I'm saying. So I can't have a one size fits all communication style. All I'm saying is you can't have a one size fits all. If you give a shit, let me finish. if you give a shit about the person you're communicating with, you might try to figure out the most effective way to communicate with them, and it may not be using language that may offend them.
I agree.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that. Hold on, let me finish. All I'm saying, so I'm not saying you sit there and pussyfoot around shit. You get to the point, but you got to do it in a way that's going to be received, understood, and heard. In the military, we got something called HUA, heard, understood, and applied. You have to do it in a way where it's going to be heard, it's going to be understood, and it's going to be applied. Not just in everybody, for everybody, that may be in a different way of doing it. So that's all I'm saying. I'm not saying you gotta like never say what you want because the fear of get offended. You can say everything you want. You just gotta be a better communicator.
Love to hear your own voice. I agree. I don't disagree in nothing. Damien, I will pass you the microphone immediately. What happens on the military?
5 seconds of what I'm saying.
What happens on the military when you are in the military and the soldier turns to the sergeant that says, "I don't want you to talk to me like that." Do your employees come to you and says, "Hey, bro, you don't talk with me like that. You're going to use my pronouns, her, they, them, he. You are going to treat me as I want." No, they don't dictate shit. You are the leader. You are the sergeant. You are the leader of a very profitable, and so you dictate the rules. Either they follow that shit or they.
But if you want to get the best out of the person,
one second. You dictate rules, and they follow. If they don't follow, they bounce. On the military and on your company, you have the power to do that shit. So if you use that power, or at least you are capable of using that power, why are you so lenient with women? Since you know the structure and you know what is going to happen and the consequences, why do the women that are on your life are not having the same respect that you are giving when you are in the military and when you were on your company, very successful and all that shit? Why don't you give them the same treatment?
Okay. Let me answer that. Okay. Now, please afford me the same amount of time it took you to answer the question. Give me that same grace, the same amount of time to answer the question. Okay. So all I'm saying is there's a difference too. If you can't just say, it ain't always my way or the highway. That's not an effective way to communicate points to people in society. That's not how society works.
I didn't say that. Listen to what I said. I agree with you. Different people have to be approached a different way.
Hold on.
Let Damien finish. Go ahead,
yes. Calm down, please.
You are wasting our time, Damien. I didn't say that.
Are you okay? Are you okay?
Damien, we're not going to do this. Me and you talk on every other spaces. Don't mischaracterize me like podcasts like to say.
I'm not doing it.
But there's Damien,
I'm not trying to diminish you.
I didn't say what you're trying to defend, brother. I didn't.
No, all I'm saying is this. You said in the military and in my company, we set a standard. Absolutely. We absolutely set a standard. But it's on to me how I get them to understand that standard and to move them, to motivate them to meet that or exceed that standard. I can't just have a one size fits all. But yes, if they say we need you to sell $2 million of widgets, whatever, at the end of the quarter, I can't say, okay, here's the one way for everybody to do it. And if they don't do it, they're gone. It has to be, I have to understand each individual person's motivation, understanding, and competency in order to develop a way of speaking to them that is effective for them to hear what I'm saying and apply it and be successful.
I understand that.
And I think, let me finish that. And that methodology works good in a relationship as well. I've not spoken to everybody I was in a relationship with the exact same way. I didn't speak to I didn't approach my first wife and my current wife the same way. I was based on who they are is how I had a baseline of where things were, but how I communicated what I needed was different because of their experiences.
What point are you debating? Listen to what you're saying, Damien. We men are ruthless to each other. Either you comply with what I'm saying and I'm gone. Listen to what I'm saying. Hey, Will, I want to be an intern learning how to podcast. First day I show to work. Will, I don't want you to talk me like that, bro. You don't teach me nothing. I don't want you to teach me like that. I won't see the second day. It's done. There's no, all my feelings about the words and what you're saying. We are very pragmatic when it comes to teaching people. Either I'm your mentor and I have the right to teach you. Either I'm your leader and I have the right to teach you. Either I'm Mr. Miyagi and you are going to learn from me, or you bounce.
you're not seeing like you're not talking to somebody who's receptive to what you're saying. If somebody comes in, like, hold on the first day, if somebody comes in and says, "I don't give a fuck what you say, I'm gonna do it my way, I'm out." That's different from somebody who's receptive to what I want.
Damon, you are not listening.
I am listening exactly what you're saying.
No, you are not. Because Damien,
let's go one by one for the sake of the quality of the audience. For this, let's go one by one.
My bad.
But let me pass it, Paulo Festa. You wanted to add on something, Paulo Festa?
I get what both of you are saying. That I think what's not translating well is that employment and romantic interest are completely two different dynamics. Exactly. The skill sets are very similar, and I can understand from Damien's point of view. I've run a construction contract, and the ways that we have developed a strategy over the last 7 years have put us in a place where vast majority of our project have been delivered 3 months earlier than all of the programs we've ever been given by our client. And what Damien is saying is, I can understand that. And I've expressed this in numerous podcasts on this channel numerous times. And I describe it as tier-type communication. I can be straightforward and be blunt with one person, and the other, a completely different approach. So I can understand that. I can understand from your point of view, Fatty, that we are ruthless. But this is a woman that we have romantic interest with. We have to design the way that we communicate in a way where it's effective, not pussyfooting, but effective.
Okay. All right.
That's what I understand from what Damien is saying. I don't know whether you understood it in that manner, but that's what I'm understanding.
Saying, but that's not my point. You establish a baseline of understanding. Madame, this is the baseline. If you want me to be the leader, you have to be the follower. This is the standards. And if something offends you, come to me, explain why it offends you, and I'm going to deal with it. But if you're going to, every time I'm going to explain you something, you are going to be offended that what this woman, not all, but most of them did on this panel, you done. There's no conversation to be had. I can understand if a woman comes to me and say, Fatty, I understand you using that word, but please don't say it because I have trauma. I kind of get it what you're saying, but please don't use it. I understand. But if they are defiant, if they say, I am offended by the word teachable because this and this and this, you're done. Bounce. Go take a man. Go get a man like Damien that is going to accommodate every word that you say and you're going to say. No, one second. No, please, one second. I'm just going to finish. Paulo, this is the question. If a trans woman came on this panel right now and she says, I want to be treated as her, even though I know he's a man, how would you treat her? You call her or he or he?
Okay, two things. Not even remotely.
Please, I want to get somewhere. No. I want to get somewhere. Please answer the question.
If you have found this conversation, I have never denied the fact that I will use the word training. I used coachable before because that's the way of communicating. If a trans woman is asking me to call her a her, I will. It's just me being polite. But if it's in a combative manner, no. Okay.
No, Paulo, that's the point. Stay there. Sir, I demand you to call me the word her. I'm not asking. I'm extremely offended, and I demand you on your company that you run that you use the word her. And if you don't do it, I'll be extremely offended, and I'm going to do whatever. You say bounce. Get out of here. You are not going to come on my shit and tell me how I should call you.
Wait, hold on. I agree. But the way that you're pursuing this conversation is that you're trying to force, which is contradicting what you're saying right now. You're forcing a conversation where you're saying yourself, bounce. It's not landing well. So why are we pursuing the same dead horse for the last however hours? Because they don't want to accept it.
Because you are going to take it, and Damien is going to take it. Damien said, "If the I will."
Fatty, just bear with me. I don't deal with women like Mina who says she don't want to be trained. That's my personal choice, and you might be a wonderful woman, but your ideas do not match with mine. I'm not going to pursue you to receive training if you repeatedly say to me, I don't want to be trained. I disagree. Our values crash, but I'm not going to pursue you for it.
That is actually perfect. Hey, Damien, do you deal with women like Mena that says, I don't want to be trained? Do you deal with them?
I don't deal with women who are overly hostile in a relationship at all.
That was not so. You're telling that Mena is extremely hostile. That's what you're saying?
No. You
So
just
I
said
ask you a question. So I ask you a question.
Hold on,
Do you deal with women like men that are extremely hostile and that are going to tell you what you?
This is a
can call them
podcast. This is not a relationship.
No, I'm talking about your real life.
So have I dealt with women long term who have been overly confrontational or whatever in a relationship setting?
No,
I've had my wife cuss out people in a setting, but she ain't gonna cuss me out.
That's not what I ask. That's literally not what I ask. I ask you if you said that you are a leader of people.
But you use these terms that are very like loosey goosey and glib.
How are they loosey goosey? You bragged about being.
What is deal with? Are you saying? Will I marry a woman who is hostile toward me?
No, Damien.
Be specific.
No.
You're not specific. Be specific.
Okay, you bragged about being the leader of a very successful tech company, whatever, right? My question is, if Mena sits in the job interview and she is hostile, you don't treat me like that, and you don't call me this. My question is, does she get the job or no?
Nope.
Thank you. That's the point. Thank you.
Alejandro, you're
saying it's something that's like crazy. Like who comes into a job interview hostile?
But
exactly.
Let's get Alejandro. I know you've been waiting. Go ahead, Alejandro.
Fatty, it's like your ego is so big that you can't even comprehend what everybody else is trying to give to you. It's like we're all on the same page. Same, like you say, you won't deal with the person like her. Bro, I would never in my motherfucking life deal with a person like you. Like you irritated me years fucking ago.
Yeah, when I saw your face, I had the same opinion about you.
Everybody let you talk. You're talking again.
No, I should say when I saw your face, I had the same opinion about you. I'll never deal with you.
That's what I'm talking about. Your fucking ego. Your ego is so big that you don't even get the information in. You just want to blah 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 blah, and you don't even comprehend what we're trying to give to you. Like I feel like we're all on the same fucking mentality, but so strong on like no. Fuck it. We have to believe what you want us to believe. And that's okay. We respect your decision. Your decision is yours. You don't fuck with a female like me or her. But we don't fuck with
you is because you're ugly. It's not different.
That was fucked up.
Let's keep it.
It's different. It's not the same thing.
Finish.
That was so fucked up.
You're because you don't your ego, you're machista. You're that dude that's like, no, you're shut
You need to not let it be personal at all.
Let me start reading some super chats. We gotta calm down a little bit before we finish the rest. All right, let's attack our arguments, but let's attack each other directly. All right, doesn't do anything conducive for
don't attack nobody knows, guys.
For the purpose of the podcast. But let me read some super chats real quick, and then we'll come back. I have one last thing I want to ask, and we can conclude. We can finish that for tonight's pod and topic. All right, T.O. On the live chat, he dropped a super chat. He said, "What is a spiritualist and the morals of it?" All right, thank you so much, T.O. All right, Marcus Antonio Castillo, women who get triggered by the word training weak. Okay, Marcus also dropped another super chat. By the way, either she's single or walks over her man. SMH. T.O. on the live chat said Damon is a problem. LOL.
$2 to say that.
MC said, I think Fatty is saying men are different from women because we are fake and gay.
That's exactly what I said.
And then 187 to our super chat. Fatty, why you over here taking souls? All right. I appreciate you guys on the live chat. I always appreciate you guys. Like I said, thank you so much for all your super chats. If you want your voice to be heard, you're always welcome to drop a super chat. I'll definitely make sure that we have time to respond to it, and I'll read it out for you guys. And of course, you have topics you guys want us to respond to. Thank you so much. As
Will,
always,
can I just say one thing before we move on? It's just to clear there, and I understand the dynamics of your show.
Okay.
When I say I'm not going to date men, but then is a pretty girl, and we jack around, have fun and all that. It's just because it's oil and water. It's not a personal attack. It's not because I look down on her. She's cute, but it's just the feminist fighting back. I'm not going to submit no matter what type of attitude. What I'm just saying, and what I was saying, and I'm not going to take the microphone, is that I have a barrier of entry. If I see a red flag about the way you're policing my speech and you're not graceful about it, I'm not going to give you what you want. I understand what you said, Damien. Everybody should communicate on the level of the person in front of them. I talk with my grandma, different way I talk with my dad, the different way I talk with my brother. I get it.
Okay, I think.
Let's just end it there. There you go.
Yeah, let's end it there. Okay, thank you so much.
Bullshit. I mean,
I guess the last thing I want to bring up, you froze, Fatty. Your screen.
Yeah, it's fine. Go ahead. It's fine.
Yeah. The one thing I want to end the podcast with, because we're done with the training where we just had a whole discussion with the training, leadership, accountability. The last thing I want to end off the conversation is, so the topic we're discussing is, should men train modern women on how to be a good wife? I remember, Mena, you responded in the beginning of the podcast, said, I don't need to be trained. It's common sense. We know how to be good wives. But we know how to be good wives. I think we had a conversation on this podcast about Yadi, about self-perception. You can think that you are some type of way, but then you definitely need feedback from the people around you, because you perceive what you think to believe to be true, but that's different from what people perceive. So you need the feedback of how people are reacting to you. So a lot of modern women are saying we don't need to be trained. We don't need men to tell us how to act or how to be good wives. But if we look at the market today, a lot of people are choosing not to get married. A lot of people are not getting the partner they want. So, and also I mentioned before early in the podcast, there's a lot of things today that's normalized, that's against what men want. And then when I have conversations, especially on my podcast, sometimes I ask women, hey, what do men want? A lot of the things that women would respond is exactly against or oppose or the opposite of what men want. So I want to have that conversation. So if modern women are saying we don't need to be trained, so okay, that's fine. You don't need to be trained. We don't need to tell you what to do. But at the same time, a lot of women today are single and they're not getting married, they're not getting children. So the market is not responding to what you're doing. So for a lot of men, we understand, both the men in here, like we understand the dating market. We know what women want. So we have to self-improve as a man to attract what men want. So the same thing for women. If you want a husband, a leader, then you would have to respond to what they want and do the things that makes a good wife for you guys to get the commitment from the men that you guys want. So since you don't need to be trained, my question to the lady is, since modern women don't need to be trained, since they already know what a good wife is, can you guys explain to me what a good wife is and what do men want? I would like to hear that, since you don't want to be trained. I'll start with you, Mena. Like what makes a good wife, and what are the things that men want in a good wife? Since we don't have to train you, that's fine. That's your opinion. So I want to ask you to explain to us what makes a good wife, what do men look for in a wife, and what makes, just start off with that.
So I believe loyalty, respect, empathy, peace, a best friend, somebody that knows you, genuinely cares about you, somebody that wants to get to know you, somebody that loves you even if you have flaws, is willing to work with you, is patient, and just feels like home. Honestly, that's what I feel would make a good wife.
Okay, so what are things what are things that not to do that you won't get wife? That's
not willing to listen, in the sense of, like, if he's expressing to you something that's hurting him, something that's bothering him, something that's making him uncomfortable, and you're just stuck on your ways and set on it, that obviously nobody wants that. When they need something, or when he needs something and you're nowhere to be found, you don't support them. And just, I don't know. I mean, just somebody that you can't talk to, somebody that isn't there for you when you need them. Example, I don't know, if you have a pending case or something and you're not there, or if their car fucking broke down and they're miles and miles away from home and you guys have no family and you don't answer the phone for XY reasons, just common sense stuff that, you know, a person needs when they're with somebody that supposedly cares about them. So I think that would be things that a man wouldn't want. Somebody that is so submissive that they don't have a voice for themselves, or can't defend themselves, or can't defend him if he's being attacked by somebody else, or their name is being stepped on. I don't see how a man could respect a woman that knows, oh shit, like my wife, my girlfriend, she doesn't have my back. I feel essentially that's what a partnership is I have your back, you have mine, and we're going to ride it out. And that's what it is. So
okay. And also one thing, man, is is there any normalized behaviors today that modern women act or behave in that you think that's not what men are looking for as to wife up? Behaviors that women today, it's normalized, but it's behaviors that men are not looking, the type of behavior that men are not looking to wife up in a woman.
I don't know if I have an answer to that, because that's just such a broad thing. So many people do different things, and men have so many different things that they want, don't want. I think it just depends on the guy's values, what he expects, how he was grown up. So I don't think I can have like a concrete answer to that.
Okay. All right. No, fair enough. Thank you for sharing that, Mena. Fellas, I definitely want to, like, you know, I want your honest feedback based on what these ladies are saying of what they describe as a good wife. I'd like to hear from what you guys said. So we'll keep it moving from Yadi. Yadi, in your opinion, you know, what are qualities that makes a good wife? And then also what are qualities that definitely does not wife material?
From what I have seen, men want a woman who takes care of herself, takes care of her house, is loving, is supportive, that they can trust. And from what I know doesn't make a good wife is someone who is always out in the streets, is disrespectful to the husband, doesn't let her man lead. I mean, every marriage is different, right? But most men want to be the head of the house when they're up for that. And just being disrespected. I've also seen so many marriages where like the woman is so ugly and so disrespectful, and the way that she'll speak to her man or let other people talk about him. Like, the true story, this one chick texted me saying something, and then I was just like, that's not going to happen. I'm not going to allow any kind of disrespect to be had, you know? Like, I don't know how other women get together and bash their men. Like, that's just not going to happen here.
Okay. And then, Yadi, are there any behaviors that you see today in modern women that's normalized, but you think that you believe that that's exactly not the type of behavior that men would?
Yeah, they're very confrontational, very rude, very ego-centered. They feel attacked for any kind of critique. You know, men don't want to be walking on eggshells.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Thank you for sharing that, Yadi. I'll pass it to you, Alejandra. Like same question. Like, you know, what do you believe, in your opinion, makes a good wife? The qualities that makes a good wife for men, and then what are qualities that doesn't make her wifey material for men to commit to? You're on mute. You're on mute. Just you're on mute, Alejandra.
I think a good wife is someone that comprehends her husband, that studies him and acknowledge his feelings and his goals, and is there to thrive with that person and not sit there and put him down. I think a good wife is someone that's just there. I think a good wife is like your number one cheerleader. Period. Like, there's no other explanation. You're gonna be there. You're gonna thrive. You're gonna. I almost said that shit too. You're gonna be there to support and guide each other to build each other and to gain from each other, not to put each other down. A bad wife, I would think, is someone that just does not build with the other person. I really can't really say. Each man is different. There's men that think that a good wife is a certain way. A good wife is they're okay with their wife going to clubs. You just got to study your man. Whatever your man likes, what he don't like, you guys are there to build together and to acknowledge each other and to make sure that he's good and you're good. I think that's a good relationship for me.
Okay, and the same thing, Alejandro. Are there behaviors that modern women act today and behave today that's normalized in today's society that you think that that's not the type of behavior that men want to commit to?
Honestly, I'm a very open person. There's men that commit to hoes. There's men that commit to anything. I'm not here to judge. I don't think there's right and wrong. To each is their own.
You said men will commit to hoes. Do you think that being a hoe is a good behavior to attract the husband?
It's not me, but they get wifed up. I'm not here to judge nobody. I'm here to live me, and whatever I do, I'm not here to judge. There's hoes that get wifed up and they live better lives than some girls that try to do the best.
You just judged me 30 minutes ago.
No. What I'm saying is, Alejandro, I understand. There are women out there who are hoes and you still get wifed up. I'm saying is, does it help you as far as probability? Does it give you the best chance to attract the men that you want by being a hoe? Even though there are exceptions, there are women out there, but is that the best choice for you to get wifed up?
Is it the best choice for them? That's what I see. Is it the best choice for me? That's not me. So I can't say that, but I'm not going to sit here and judge nobody either. Everybody is different. We are not here to judge nobody. We're here to live, and that's it. We're nobody to judge nobody.
Okay. Just one more time. I'm not judging anybody. I'm just saying is if a woman's going out there to the dating market,
they want to attract a good man. Another woman down. To each their own. I'm not going to put another woman down. You do your thing. That's your hustle. That's what you do. If you got wifed up, hey, you did your thing. I'm not going to put another woman down. Okay. I can't. Who am I to put another woman down? Who am I?
Okay. Okay. I get it. All right. No worries. Okay. So we got a chance to hear from the ladies, and I want to hear from the fellas, and I want to give you guys your honest assessment. That because that is the discussion. A lot of modern women saying that we don't need to be trained. We know how to be good wives, and we know how to attract the men that we want. Based on what you heard, I just want to hear from the fellas. Is the things that you guys heard from the women today, are these the things that men are looking for and want to commit to? Based on what you guys heard, I want to hear from the fellas. I'll start with you, Damien. Oh, you're on mute, Damien.
Yeah, I don't see nothing negative about what they said or what have you, but I'm all for the baseline of fit, friendly, and feminine. I'm all for that. I think that's where it starts with a lot to do. But also with me, I can just go by me personally. Is I like the woman would have to have divested herself from anything that I find like abhorrent or just like of bad taste or not conducive to a good relationship. She can't be posting half naked pictures on social media. She can't be hanging out with chicks who are bitter and man haters and stay up in the clubs and all that kind of stuff. She can't be expressing any of those types of behavior that I think are detrimental to relationships. And if she's already done those things to where I'm not asking her to do the things, then those are the people I feel like have positioned themselves to be good wives, not people who. So it's to me, it's the work that she did before she even met me that's going to determine whether or not I feel like she's a good wife. But like I said, I ain't got nothing to say, but those are just a couple of things I would add to it.
Okay. All right. Thank you for sharing that, Damien. I'll pass it to you, Beans.
What are we doing? I'm gonna be honest with you. I had muted for a second. I couldn't take it. I had to mute for a second, bro.
Oh no. We were discussing because there's a lot of modern women saying that we don't need to be trained, we don't need to be told what to do. We already know what to do. We already know how to be good wives, right? But then if you look at the statistics, they're not getting commitment. They're not getting married. Yeah. So do you think, based on what you heard from the women's description of what a good wife is that exactly what men are looking for? Do you agree or disagree? Are there things that you heard that goes against what we look for in a committed relationship? What do you think?
Well, so again, like when Mina was giving her first response, I muted up right after. It was way, like I just couldn't take it. I'm not gonna be rude about it.
Yeah.
But the things that I heard her saying out of her mouth, I think they were spot on. Absolute. I think they were spot on. Absolute. But the reason why I couldn't take it is because it seemed so phony. If I'm just being honest, right? Way too often what I see happen, right? There's a certain kind of man that women want, but they don't want to have to be the kind of woman that deserves that man. And that's exactly why you said when you was watching the video and you was looking in the comments, you were seeing a lot of women saying, take me as I am. Right? It's an old song from the 90s, Don't Make Me Over. Right? Now that you know how I adore you, don't make me over. Respect me for what I am. Respect me for all the things that I do. Don't make me over. Right? And that's a problem, really, honestly, because they don't view men the same way. It's not however you come to me, that's how I'm going to accept you from here on out. They may, and I give women this, they may entertain men who they don't actually believe are where they want a man to be at in life, but the expectation is still there for him to develop, for him to improve per her desires, aka instructions. And yet we have a panel full of women saying they don't want to be instructed, at least not with the word train, which literally means to instruct. Right? So it's a problem. But I think a lot of times when women say these things, they say all the right things, but I don't believe in practice that they actually practiced it. I don't think they actually participate in being loyal, in being your peace, in making you feel like you're at home and all of those other good things that Mina said. She can say that it's just us on the panel and it's not personal. We're just the examples now, right? But she's mad aggressive, mad masculine, right? There's no way I can believe that you're not that same way offline, which means that a man is going to have to accept that from you, which means you're not trying to be his peace. So that's why it's difficult for me to listen to it. It's because I don't believe them. Even when they know what to do, they don't want to. They don't want to have to do anything. They want their presence to be enough. And I think that's problematic.
All right, thank you for sharing that, Beans. I pass it to you, Paulo Fessa. Then I'll come to you, Fatty.
Look, it's. I've come to understand that I think my way of life is extremely biased based on the numbers of men who's fought me on this space in terms of how a man should be and what our responsibility is. Look, the men I model my life after were men who were leaders, who had authority, and took their responsibility as husbands and fathers very seriously. In the ways of, I will coach and teach and guide the family that I have. And in order to build that, there's a woman involved. And unfortunately, that's no longer the landscape that I'm seeing out in reality. I do my best with the men that I consult and give words of endearment to. But what I found are two basic things, very simple. Is a woman that a man is sexually attracted to. And the second one is she has to be coachable. Two very simple things. Everything else can be built upon that. I have to be physically attracted to you, and that you have a level of coachability to you. I can build loyalty after that. I can build honesty. I can build communication. All those things are then taken care of if you're a coachable woman. That's all it is. Two very simple things.
Okay. All right. Thank you for sharing that, Paulo Fessa. And then Fatty.
So I agree with what Paulo said. I just want to add something up. if you come around me and I ask you, is this right and is this wrong? And the first thing you say is, I'm not going to put down another woman. Disqualified completely. And this is something that women think is loyalty. This is you not separating from the bad people on this planet. If any man, when you go to him and you point and say, hey, this man did something wrong, and this man he says, I'm not going to judge him. Nobody. That's the first step for you to dissociate from that man, because you know one day he's going to look at you, and instead of putting the foot down, he's going to do whatever he needs to do, because hey, it is what it is. Nobody needs to be judged. So I would ask for a woman to have the same type of compassion to men as men have to women. We men check other men. We check very bad men. Every time something happens on this planet and very bad men are doing something, other good men put some boots on and try to defeat those men, because we don't want that evil to escalate. And the fact that are probably billions of women on this planet that are willing to see a woman denigrate herself, doing something dirty, doing something foul, and the first thing they come in mind is saying, I'm not going to judge her. Who am I to judge? That's the massive red flag, and that's literally disqualification on the moment, because who is going to tell me that you're not going to turn that against me one day? So it is what it is. Coachability, and it's fine that these go full circle. If your woman is not coachable, it's done. There's no conversation to be had, because you are going to come to my house, you are going to eat on my place, but you are going to play your piano or guitar or whatever instrument you play. We need to be a team. I need to prioritize you, and you need to prioritize me. I need to outcompete you and outserve you and take care of you in a ways that you feel proud of me. And you need to wake up every day and say, my husband did very good things for me yesterday. Let me try to make his life a little bit easier. When people go on relationships to be selfish and to say, I'm not going to be teachable, I'm not going to be coachable, good luck. Buy a dog. A dog won't complain about that. Men are not dogs. If I can dress myself and pull myself down and put myself on my knees to talk with you in a way that doesn't hurt you, because I understand you, I care for you, and I love you, you shouldn't be offended when I say, stop, don't do that, do that. That's the only thing I have to say about this. And yes, I'm a machista. Okay. Whatever that means.
All right, thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing that, Fatty. I see MC Heavy Tits on the live chat. The super chat. We all judge. Most men don't want a modern woman. That's why I'm 43 and single. I appreciate it. Okay. Just one thing I want to ask the ladies before we conclude and we share our final thoughts. Mena, can you agree that a man that's undisciplined and lazy, no ambition, just wants to play video games all day and doesn't want to go to work, do you agree that's not a good man?
What's happening? Oh my
God. Yeah. If you don't have motivation to do anything with your life, yeah.
Okay. Yadi, same thing. You say you're with a partner and he's undisciplined, lazy, no ambitions, just wants to play video games all day. Do you agree that that's not a good man? Okay. And then Alejandra, I hope you're still listening. If you're in a relationship with a man and he's lazy, unambitious, undisciplined, and he doesn't want to work, he just want to play video games all day, do you agree that that's not a good man?
I agree that that's not a good man, but I also agree that you're using that as your debate on why we behave or why we need to be trained, and that's your argument on, okay, well, if a man is lazy like this, well, we don't want a woman that's not trained. I agree that man ain't shit, but just because we don't want to be trained does not mean we don't know how to act. So I agree with it, but that's how I feel.
No, that's not the reason why I brought that up.
Insane.
That's not the. Let me just explain why I brought that up, right?
Will, did you saw what she did?
I understand, but the reason why I brought up that question.
I thought your computer was dying.
Okay, the reason why I brought up that question because there are a lot of modern women saying that we don't need to be judged, and I know Alejandra. I know you said that when I said if there's a woman out there being a hoe, being promiscuous, when we all understand as men on this panel that promiscuity is not something that we want in a wife, You said the words, "I don't want to judge her," but then when I brought up the man, you had no problem judging.
He's a bum. Go to work, bum.
Can I explain?
What I'm saying is,
please let her explain.
Let me just finish this. Look, at the end of the day, real life is we're all going to be judged in real life, especially in the dating market. So what I'm saying is, how are you going to attract the man that you want if we can't agree on certain things, certain behaviors? That's not going to help you as a woman to get the man that you want to get wifed up. If we all know, as men, everybody on this panel as men, for me personally, I don't associate with broke ass men. I don't want to be around them. I don't want to be around that. And I shame the men who are living that life, especially if they have kids, especially if they have families. Right? I don't have a problem with that because I know that's not good for society in general. We want good, strong men who can take leaders. My issue is for a lot of women is that you claim to say that you want good men, you want a husband, but at the same time, you cannot hold other women accountable on behaviors that you know for a fact that doesn't help you to become wife material. When you all just said on this panel, I don't need a man to train me. I know how to be a good wife. But the same sentence, you're not going to hold other women accountable for certain behaviors that you know for a fact that doesn't make a good wife. So we don't want to. We can't train you, but then you can't be honest and be accountable on the certain behaviors for the men to attract the men that you want. So you don't want the men to train you, but then you won't call out on the behaviors for yourself. So how do you win as modern women? Like, how do you get the men that you want? That's just for me.
Right. Now she's not even.
So that woman is not going to be for me. So I'm not going to sit there and judge her for what she's doing. I can give two shits what she's doing because she's not for me. My man, I don't want my man to be like that. You could judge your woman all you want, but for me, I'm not going to sit there and judge a woman on how she behaves. That is my argument on that. Like, I'm not going to sit here and debate and talk about another woman and her hustle or her struggle because I don't know her story. I'm not going to sit there and judge her.
What about the broke man? You didn't know her story. You didn't know his story.
But for me, I know what I want, and I know how I'm gonna behave for my man. But I'm not gonna like you're telling me I gotta hold another woman accountable of what she does. No, I don't. I gotta hold myself accountable of what I do. Whatever other women do, I could give two shits. But me, I'm not like that, and I know how I know how to behave, and I know what to do. These men over here are so like what's his Fatty. He's so triggered off me, but it's like, bro, like you want to sit there and be like, oh well, I'm the one that you need to watch out or whatever. Because I don't want to judge another woman. That's crazy. That's
you
so
judge me. You call me my sister. That's the point.
Let me ask you a question. Alejandro, can I ask you a question? If you got into a healthy, good long-term relationship and a woman who wasn't who was going to the clubs, wilding out, came here and said, you know what? I want what you got. I want a healthy relationship with a man that respects and loves me. How do I get that? You would just be like, do you? I ain't judging you, do you? Or would you be like, well, the first thing you have to do is acknowledge the behavior that's not conducive to having what you have, wouldn't you?
Well, see, I'm a business owner, and I go. Hold on. Let me explain myself. I'm a business owner. I take care of my shit. I got 2 kids. I take care of my kids. I pay all my bills. I take care of my business. I still go out and party, but I know how to act like a woman. I'm not out there acting crazy and going after party after party. But because I go out to a club one day because I'm stressed the fuck out because I went all week busting my ass and working.
That wasn't the question. That wasn't the question. I said if somebody
y'all are confusing her. I'm on her side from here on out. Y'all confusing her. You asking her the question, but you no. You're not asking them right. Even when Will, she wanted to respond and give her answer. He gave her a long question. She wasn't able to answer it correctly. So what he's basically asking you, Alejandra, what he's saying is, if you have a woman who wants a good relationship, do you think you should tell her how to have a good relationship, or do you think she automatically qualifies for one, regardless of how she is?
I think she froze.
God is so good. Look at God. Won't he do it? Won't he do it? I'm shining on my eye. God.
Okay. All right. Let me ask you, Yadi, Mena, do you agree about that? And look, reality is men, we know that it's a hard game in the men's space. We get judged all the time, so we have to work up to move up. But do you believe, like, as a woman, you don't they should not be judged for behavior? They should just attract any man they want, especially, or they really have to be accountable.
Manifested. You deserve it, girl.
Absolutely.
No. Most of the modern women today, that's why they're single, because they're not attracting what they desire in a man, because their attitudes, their way of being, their disrespect, their ego, it's not it's more like the whole thing. Take me as I am, right? Or I don't need to change for anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
If you can handle me on my worst, you don't deserve me on my best.
I agree with that sentiment.
Okay.
Bullshit.
Mena, last one. Anything you want to add on? You good?
What was the question? It got redundant.
Do you agree that we all get judged? Men, we get judged. That's why I brought that example. She didn't. Alejandra didn't want to judge the women, but she was quick to judge the men. So,
110%. Men get judged, women get judged. I just got judged by little podcasts. I've never met the guy a day in my life. Does it bother me? No, because I know what to do, and I know who I am as a person. So it doesn't bother me. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. So yeah, absolutely. Men, women get judged all the fucking time. But hey, that shit rolls off. It is what it is.
All right.
I just want to say,
so it kind of bothered you because you held that on that. It kind of did.
Absolutely not.
If Mina's boyfriend is listening, put a 1 in the chat if you need to be rescued. That's all I'm saying. Put a 1 in the chat if you're in an abusive relationship and you need to be rescued.
Will, before you conclude
I'm
this,
just joking.
I just want to say something to Damien.
Yeah.
What she did right here, Damien, is why men should be less empathetic when it comes to women and their feelings. She showed that she has all the empathy for the biggest harlot on the planet. But man, no matter the circumstances, no matter what happened to him, no matter his story, she doesn't want to hear nothing. Either you do what she wants and you're ready to be a woman, or you out. So this is how we get into
like that's what
don't stand for.
This
don't
is
stand for. Yeah, hypocrisy should not be tolerated in any form whatsoever.
Damien, you will be the perfect husband for the perfect woman.
I am the perfect husband for the perfect woman. Did you just say that out loud?
You missed my point. The understandable, compassionate. I want to hear your side. I want to understand you. I want to come to
all that. A lot of men like Damien.
Man, why are you interrupting?
Because there is a lot of men like Damien.
I know they are called pushovers, and you guys hate
they're
them.
amazing men.
No,
they're called feminists.
Can I
finish what I was saying?
Those are the men that should be looked up.
Can I finish what I was saying, please, man? A simp, in my opinion, or a pushover.
I'm a simp.
No, Damien, let me finish my point. I'm a simp at heart. I want to treat my woman. If I have diamonds, you get it. I want to give you everything. Absolutely. But that's what I'm telling you. You are already married, so you are in a situation where you can give this advice. I believe that men like you would be perfect husbands for functional women. These women are dysfunctional, bro. And if I adopt your attitude and I go to the field to get one of these women, what is going to happen is I'm going to get obliterated, because you are coming from a point of view of I will get a healthy wife that has healthy needs and she knows her job and she knows, but don't try to be aggressive or don't try to be whatever we need to be to cater to people like the lady that was here, men, and a bunch of these women on the West that don't know what to do. And now you're going to get in a massive amount of problems because they don't give a shit about whatever you have going on.
My point, maybe my stuff may be outdated because I got a wife I met my wife 20 years ago. You might have a point. She's definitely not like the women.
Instagram, you made it, bro. A touchdown, just go home.
So I don't know.
Instagram, you are going to have problems. I'm just telling.
But I think there's some fundamental things that just kind of work just when you're talking to people in general, when you're just communicating with people.
All right.
The other thing that we miss in this conversation is I liken to Damien. We don't deal with women that don't agree with us. It's like fine, we clash in values.
You are a
Go ahead and go
dictator.
get
You
your
are an abuser. That made me feel sad. You see, I can literally twist your.
I will abuse you, Fatty.
But you see,
I will
Paulo,
abuse you.
I know what you're saying. You are benevolent. You are a good dude. You are willing. When you say that, I am not tolerating something. In my head days, this man is willing to take the burden of being a man and taking care of this woman. And he's not going to be flexible, but he's going to be flexible to a point where he accommodates her wishes and make her life easier. When they do it or when they hear you, oh my God, such a tyrant. You are not going to deal with the woman. That's what they want. They want you to capitulate and to say, hey, bro, be the leader, but lead the way I want. And if you have to lead the way they want, who is the leader?
Fatty, let go of your ego, bro. Let go of your ego.
Let go of the bottle.
Here's the cold reality. Here's the cold reality for women who say that sort of rhetoric. I'm sorry, but you'll never find a man that's going to treat you the way that you want him to. And that's a cold reality, and that's fine. I'm not going to here to preach for you if you push back so many times in the ways and the manners of a man who is going to be the one to take care of you and give you the guidance that you need as a woman and receive the guidance that he needs as a man. You will never get that type of man, and that's on you, and that's fine. That's part of being a human being, is that we live and we learn, and that's your lesson.
Are you saying that men need?
I fuck with you.
We gotta conclude. We gotta conclude. All right, but we gotta land the plane. We have to land the plane. All right, we are coming to the end. Thank you so much, as always. Shout out to everybody on the panel and everybody. I guess I definitely picked a good topic for tonight. We definitely it was a good topic. So, as always, I appreciate everybody in the live chat. Thank you so much. We had a great discussion. Shout out to everybody on the super chats. I appreciate you guys for your donation and all the comments that you guys expressed on the super chats. As always, I appreciate you guys. But to the panel, thank you so much for a great discussion. I know we disagreed on a lot of things. I know things got heated a little bit, but we were able to make it through and still be able to continue the discussion.
I'm a victim. I'm offended.
All right.
Yes,
I do appreciate every single one of you guys on the panel for making the time and have this hard discussion. I think it is beneficial to have this discussion. So, the panel, final thoughts. How can people find you? Drop your socials, drop your podcast for people to follow you. I'll start with the ladies. Minna, as always appreciate you always coming on the show. Final thoughts and how can people find you?
This was fun, just like I posted on my story. I knew it was going to be amusing. So you can find me on IG at Amena Mercy, TikTok, Amena Mercy. And again, thank you for having me. It was a good time. I had fun, and it was nice seeing old faces, new faces, and yeah.
Are there any faces you don't want to see next time?
I could care less. To be honest with you.
All right. Thank you so much, man. I'll pass it to you, Yadi. Yadi, as always, thank you for your time. Final thoughts and how can people find you?
No final thoughts. And this was fun. Thank you. You can find me on IG at Soul Sorceress HTX.
All right. Thank you so much, Yadi. As always, appreciate you for being on the panel. Alejandro, thank you so much for jumping on as a public guest. Final thoughts and how can people find you, Alejandro? Oh, you're on mute. You're on mute.
Shit. Being running wild on Instagram. Fatty, chill the fuck out, man. Chill the fuck out. Chill the fuck out, man. That's my final thought. No. Remember, listen to learn, not to talk back.
All right. Thank you so much.
You're being trained.
And I'll definitely reach out to you soon, Alejandro, for you to come back on the pod on Saturday.
For sure.
Thank you so much. I'll pass it to the fellas. Damien.
Yeah, it was a good conversation.
Damien, for all the people in the live chat, I have to back you up. You are not a simp, okay?
I mean,
he's a white knight.
No.
Damien, I fuck with you.
Simp is a white knight. That's
okay.
Nah.
Like it don't bother me. Like I said, ain't nobody ever that's been doing better than me ever than called me a simp.
Oh,
so I ain't tripping off of it. Why do I care? Why do I care?
I fuck with
I gotta look down here. Okay.
I fuck with you.
Damon, can I get $15, bro? Can you send me $50? Okay, Paul.
No, it's a station. You know, like I said, this is the kind of shit that got me wanting to get my channel back up. So, Can I Get Some Podcasts will be full in effect December 4th. You can go on IG, Can I Get Some Podcasts? YouTube, Can I Get Some Podcasts? So if you feel like checking me out after then, I got some old shit on there if you want to check out. It's all good, but my new shit's coming soon. So appreciate it.
All right. Thank you so much, Damien. Pass it to you. Beans, final thoughts. How can people find you?
Hey man, listen. Forget finding me. Hit my Cash App. Help me get out of America, bro. I gotta go. They got the Hispanic women now.
Please help him. I'm so
It's
serious.
all
He needs that Cash
done.
App. He needs
It's
it.
over
Thailand
with
is
for this
all
bitch.
open, wide open.
Yeah, Thailand,
Right. It's
UK.
over with.
You
It's
can
over
buy
with
an
for this
island in the middle of nowhere.
See what I mean?
He needs the Cash App.
Let me be quiet because it's her turn to talk.
Let him finish. Final
Nah. She's proving my point. She can say whatever she wants to. She's proving my point. Homeboy strong over there. But listen, hit the Cash App, man. Help me get out this country. I can't take it no more. Okay? I'm tired of it, bro. Okay? So please, just look me up, Lil Podcast, find my Cash App, hit me up. Hopefully, Will, next time you have me on, I'll be hitting you from like Scandinavia or somewhere, man. Like where the people making sense, bro. It ain't nobody triggered by training.
Okay.
Oh my God. Shout out to my man Damien Fatty, Polifessa, my man Will, Alejandra, Mina, Carmen, and Jessica from earlier, man. Salute to everybody. Dope panel.
All right. Thank you so much, Beans.
Absolutely.
And Fatty, final thoughts, Fatty.
I have no will towards nobody, and I'm not going to target Alejandra because I want her to come back. Thank you for having me, Will. I just like this conversation prove remember me, you and Paulo, we talk about leadership and the how can we fix this if men become leaders and all that. You guys are out of your goddamn mind. That's the reality. Like the amount of women that will never listen to a man is so big that no matter how many Paulo Festas, no matter how many Wills, no matter how many Damians, you can fix them. They have to fix themselves. It's what it is. And I'm not even trying to, again, I hope Mena gets a king. I hope Alejandra gets a king. I hope everybody gets what they want. But the reality is, man, the times where men are leaders are long gone because there's nothing you can enforce their leadership on, especially on unruly women that think they know better. And they say, the word teaching hurts me and I want a leader on the next sentence. To me, that's, I don't want to be teach. Don't tell teach, but I want
to find it because I don't know who said hurt. Because I sure as hell
the word teaching hurts. The word teaching hurts my feelings, but I want a leader, which is literally somebody that is going to teach you and to guide you. So again, I know my English is not my first language, so forgive me for catching these contradictions and these like convoluted arguments inside of people's heads. Be toxic, fellas. There's nothing on these streets. Just be toxic and do whatever you have to do because you can judge me. Only God can judge me. Only God.
Okay.
Only God can judge me now.
Thank you, Fatty. And last but not least, Paulo, final thoughts.
Final thoughts is this is probably a prime example of when semantics derails a conversation. I think from where I was listening into the conversation, I think pretty much every woman that was on this podcast have admitted that they will be coached by a particular type of man. And they will be willing to give up that authority and be vulnerable to a specific type of man. The semantics is where I think it got derailed, but the fundamental understanding of what is training, what is teaching, what is coachability, I think at some way or point, we've all agreed that, yeah, there's a level of that involved in a relationship. So what are those conditions? I think it should be a question to a lot of men who say that this is an example of unruly women. I can agree to a certain degree, but look, I think the principles and values that I see and model out in society has worked for centuries, and I try and adhere to them in one way or another, and don't give up, because a lot of these are your responsibility as a man if you want a family or a relationship. And accountability is to self-regulate what those wants are, what the outcome that you desire, and what are the things that you need to do in order to get them. It's very simple. We try and overcomplicate it because we take things at face value, but it is what it is.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
Shout out to all the leaders that have to listen to their wives, but they are the leaders. Like, I'm the leader, but how do you want me to talk with you, lady? Shout out to them. The leaders that are listening to.
Well, I got you, Fatty.
I've got one more question. I basically agreed with Fatty and podcast in terms of the training. I didn't get one pushback. I wonder why that is.
There's not. It's actually not personal. It's a paradox. I am the leader, but you tell me how I should treat you. That doesn't sound like a leader, in my opinion. But this is me.
No. What I'm asking is specific to the women. Why didn't you ladies push back? I said the same thing that Fatty did.
Because they are cowards. Cowards. They don't stand for nothing.
No, I agreed with Patty. And you. I agreed with y'all.
I think it was just a different wording, and it just wasn't as aggressive and as demanding as Fatty was being. And I think that is what went into the topic of the conversation of the word training. Is there's certain guys that can say it, and it's like, you know what, he's not being malicious about it. I get what he's saying. And then there's people like Fatty and
she didn't say that.
Which was saying it because they were frustrated and angry, and they were trying to get their point across. So just like you don't want to push back, it's the same thing. You get what you give, and that's just what it is.
I got you. But we got to wrap it up. But
say that, Will.
Thank you, Mena. Appreciate you guys. Malafessa, Yadi, Damien, Fatty, Beans, and Alejandro. Thank you so much, everybody in the live chat. People who dropped the super chat. Thank you for your donation. We do this every single Wednesday. A hot topic Wednesday. The topics just get hotter as the week goes. So definitely tune in for next time. Get notified next time we do go live. I appreciate you guys. We'll see you guys next time. You guys have a good night. Peace.